we revisit Soldiers of Eon as they are being ever so carefully transported, unwillingly, through the area of Paishan, where you have encountered many different types of constructs who were being controlled by vines and odd things underneath the surface, understanding that to some degree everything around you is a fake. You've seen beneath the facade of the ground into a massive chamber of vines that are supporting a collection of stones that essentially build the ground beneath you, display the trees and grass around, and even falsely construct the buildings and ruins that are nearby. You survived your team being taken, and of course our resident psionic touched minds with the creature that was controlling all of this, and it marked her. You successfully removed that mark as a curse, which I did a bunch of research on curses today. In the future I won't. Dispel magic does not work on curses, but totally worked last time because reasons. And in that process of dispelling that mark, you felt the ground shift beneath you within 100 feet in every direction. Even the buildings and the small mountains that are nearby rose up and began to head east towards a foreboding storm that several of you have noticed. We begin our journey as Dauphin sits, closes his eyes. What do the rest of you do?
Can we get any idea how long it's going to take to get there?
Give me both a nature check and a nature or intelligence check. Excuse me. Not nature, survival. Survival and a perception check.
Should have asked this last session. Yeah, I definitely should have asked this last session.
When the dice were kinder?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't know. You've never traveled by moving landmass before? So your understanding of how quickly this thing is moving is not great. But you look off into the distance with the 22. You can see that this storm that is approaching, or that you are approaching, is not terribly far off. We're talking about maybe a handful of miles away.
It's not hours.
You don't know. Hours depends on your speed, which you got a 7 on. So there.
just gonna sit down and attempt a short rest at this point. Yeah.
Okay, Dro as well sits.
And just stare at Marco.
Are we just accepting our fate, or are we running away from this thing?
You think you can outrun this?
I know I have basically nothing in the tank. I can't fight it.
I mean, I can outrun this.
I mean, I could maybe run it too.
But my concern is looking over at Corin, right? That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
His attire doesn't scream, "I'm a sprinter."
No, I'm definitely more of a short burst of speed while in combat, not a runaway for a long time type.
Okay, well, I don't have anything to fight that thing with.
If we do not fight it, then something else will, and it will probably cause havoc. And we have sworn an oath to protect. I have not accepted
okay.
my fate. I am preparing for the upcoming fight.
Okay, so let's just assume that we're going to probably have to fight this thing. Do we want to fight it now?
Or after we take a nice long nap.
I don't think we're going to be able to take a nap, Princess.
Just got a point.
All of my magic was used on fireballs and spells to get you out of the hole.
Yeah, how's those fireballs working now?
Worked great to save Yazlan, did it not?
I mean, you're not
Probably
wrong.
would have been fine. Probably.
So what do you propose then? Because I could definitely use a little bit of a rest. I'm not emptying the tank, but not in a great spot. At this point, I feel like all I can do is actually literally just punch.
Can we do anything to at least move the train in our favor, or give us something that isn't just a roving platform into a nightmare storm?
Dolphin's gonna go ahead and stand up, and he'll open his eyes and look at everyone, and he'll go, "Now is the time to rest, and if you need more time," he's gonna go ahead and cast Wither and Bloom.
Look over at Dyer. Any suggestions from you? You're awkwardly quiet.
You look over at Dyer and yes, I'm quiet. I get quiet when I'm scared. And I am absolutely scared now. But I can't very well bring myself to run away, now can I? This would be, never be able to bring myself to sing another, to speak of another story of heroes. If I abandoned the ones that I knew when they needed support. As far as what to do, I'm not quite sure. I don't have any. I don't have any way of manipulating the terrain. That's certainly outside of my wheelhouse.
Anything in
Going
your
into this fight.
anything in your arsenal to perhaps help those that aren't the more melee focused individuals? Because I know there are at least 3 of us that can handle at least up close, but I would definitely feel more comfortable with a little bit of our powerhouses being able to help out. Margot makes a good point. A lot of resources were used in the previous incident of touching things that don't belong to us.
There was no label that said property of.
We are going into this fight half-cocked. I can do two things that might damage a creature. Both of them I have to be within, like, pretty close range. It doesn't do much.
I can support from far away. Admittedly, I'm not great at long-range damage myself. Mostly I use my abilities if somebody gets up in my face. I've got a bit of support and healing that I can provide, and some boons for us. I've never been in the middle of it type of fighter. But
I think we could sacrifice to something to it or something. Maybe a way to appease it.
Well, it already branded me once, so I
Unless
don't
we're
think...
sacrificing her.
It seems to want to feed on highly magical beings.
She would probably work. No, we're
I
not
can do-
sacrificing you. Relax.
Very little.
Does Wither and Bloom do anything to the area?
Are you testing that out?
Yeah, I just cast it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, sure. So, all of the, like, basic plant life around you does wither and crumble, kind of fade away. We're talking about, like, the mosses and the small grasses, even, like, small shrubs and whatnot. You do catch kind of, like, the limb of, like, one of the trees that's nearby enough to be inside of the sphere, and it remains green and leafy. And as it kind of dies and fades, you see a couple more of those little toe-headed elementals like pop out, kind of look like they're kind of waiting for you to move,
Is the ground
and they
still
kind of
moving
disappear.
with us?
Oh yes, you can feel it. You can feel it like
Nothing.
crumbling and like
Nothing.
vibrating.
Did we take... Can... Dolphin, who did you give those hit points to?
Whoever wants them. I'm pretty sure everyone's at full.
Yeah.
I'm at full, but I'm gonna take some so I can use my Bloodwell vial.
Okay.
Well, my Dreamwell vial. It's whenever you roll any hit dice.
1 sec.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Here we go.
That was the dog, it wasn't me.
What have you done?
I used the Dreamwell vial!
You never know what's gonna happen when you use that.
I have 0 options right now. I have no spells.
I mean,
5 sorcery points would help a
feel like-
lot.
we
That's-
could
yeah,
probably
hell yeah.
run. Maybe.
Well, where to?
Let's say you gotta run 100 feet just to get further
Real
away.
quick, Margot. So what are you doing with your Bloodwell vial?
I'm trying to regain
Or
5
your soul
sorcery
vial.
points.
Okay. Roll me an Arcana check as you tap into that and begin to start that.
Natural
Transfer.
20,
Oh my
baby.
god.
Woo!
It's about time. Okay, give me a second because I was not expecting this, so I gotta find the right thing. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right verbiage.
I don't like that.
Nope, not that one. Not that one. So you tap into it, and like last time you worked with your blood well vial, like you felt a little something. There was, or your soul well vial. There was like a little thing that's like kind of like bugging you. It's like more to it that you didn't quite understand. And this time, with the dire nature, and you are like jacked up on adrenaline and heading towards something ominous. You touch into it, and there's like this moment of connection where you understand an additional feature that you did not think was a part of your vial. Kind of glows around your neck and kind of fades into you. Think about it, you understand it, and innately you know that your connection with your brother is deepened through the soul well vial. You, whenever you use the soul well vial, you get a charge of the ability knowledge from a past life from the reborn race.
Well, is that something I could look up?
Yeah, so
Oh, 5e. Yep, there it is.
yep, 5e. So if we make like just a real fast I'm gonna pull it in. I just need to make a real fast character that is a reborn, and then I can drag and drop that feature onto your sheet.
Okay. How long does it last?
Remind me how many charges you get from the base item of the
It's once per day.
It's once per day.
Mm-hmm.
You basically get it once per day. You can use that as a feature of your
Oh, okay, I
soul
see.
vial. Mhm.
But I can pick when I use the d6.
You basically have a d6 stored per day inside of your soul well vial from like essentially your brother's
Mhm.
spirit reaching out and assisting you with his skills, his knowledge, his support when you're making a check.
But I'm saying it's not like Bardic Inspiration where it fades away in 10 minutes. I can use it throughout the day as long as I've used my blood vial. Okay.
Yep. Mhm.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Not just a normal blood well.
Okay. So.
And well played on rolling a natural 20.
I'm trying to figure out which spells I want back now. I can take a 4th level spell to get Blight, but that thing uses legendary resistance. That's a waste of all my sorcery points. Yeah, I could do a 3rd level and a 2nd level, because I have 8 points now. Or I could do 4 first levels.
You may want to have a higher one in the tank.
A first
Ooh.
level might be helpful too. Just
I think converting is a bonus. I'll just wait, because I can convert as a bonus action.
Yep, that's right.
We can adapt and overcome.
Okay.
If you say so. I'm pretty sure you were the one who was like, I need a rest.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally use some
I
key
still
points
do.
back.
Can't relate. I'm ready to go. Like,
How
come
many
on.
rage? Oh, you got beat the shit. So you probably only used the one rage.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
only-
we
I
just
only
kept
used
beating her up.
one, And I didn't.
I used the
take
damage spell to hold her up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
You could have let me continue to fall, and I could have potentially
No.
grabbed something
No.
myself.
No.
Why
No.
not? I wasn't
No.
falling that fast.
Yet.
I would have been fine. Probably.
Exactly.
Do we have like a gauge of how fast the ground is moving?
I'll give you the same chance that I gave to Dro. Go ahead and roll me an survival check for like rate of speed. Margot, you can use the image that I just posted for your no, never mind. No, I'll go ahead and change that look on the item for you.
Ooh. He's
All I
pretty.
know is we're going fast.
13. It's not that you don't have like a good calculation, but it's not fast.
Oh, we could, guys. Let's just start moving.
In
The opposite
that-
direction?
Yeah.
Dolphin and Dro?
Yasmin will,
Do you think-
Yasmin will stand up and start walking the way the land is. The land's going that way. She's going this way.
Here's a thought to Dolphin. How many more times can you turn into that eagle again?
One more time.
Just thought.
It's not great.
If, big if, looking at Yaslin and trusting that she knows how fast this is moving,
Yasmin is just walking like.
those that can't move as fast, possibly Dolphin grab them and at least be able to carry them to keep up. Because I can imagine, if I recall, back in Margot's dream realm, you were able to very rarely keep up with myself as the eagle.
He was just carrying me. Not Corin and Dyer.
Dire.
And she was
I
at Corin
mean-
with all of his armor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, corner of his armor on might be a problem.
I said it was not the greatest, but the problem is if we move, the lack of speed we have. If this thing, say, picks up.
But if we were just to start walking in the other direction, just forever, eventually you think that maybe it would catch up with us, with how big it is. Or
Get tired, right?
we get
I think
tired.
we get tired first.
Yes, it could be that we just become exhausted from walking in the other direction. It's like walking on a... they implemented it a long time ago. There was prisoners, and they would walk forever on a sheet of, just a constantly moving sheet. It would cause rocks to move around, kind of like a conveyor belt. But for people,
That sounds
I don't remember
unpleasant.
what the name was.
I
How
think
much walking have you guys done before?
You're talking to like the two like least physical people in the party.
Yeah, what do you mean get tired of walking?
to a point we can still make distance, and if we get tired, we can stop, and at least we have further distance to rest. As Dro stands up and starts to like.
How big was the thing, Dolphin? Because
How big
its
was the
steps
thing?
could. Yes.
It was big.
Its steps. Vast.
What
What else?
Do you really
I-
think a tree can move, guys? Come on.
I have seen some shining eyes, then there were some storm clouds around it. The eyes were just very high up. Because I was flying.
I think that perhaps, unless we are running constantly, which would tire us out, it probably will catch us.
Well,
As much as I hate to admit that.
Which brings me back to the terrain. Can we at least get on something that we think might be more solid ground? As long as we're standing where it controls, then I don't feel good about where I'm standing.
Look from our sight, seeing down
Oh.
under. Was there anything that didn't look like it was just made of vines in ceiling? Was it those pillars of vines?
So, recapping what you saw, there's that enormous pit,
Yeah.
like over 100 feet down, and everything was just like that. Space was like filled with air. That space in the air was filled with vines and the constructs and rubble and stuff. And then occasionally there were large chunks and pillars that were more stable, and those seemed to be directly under like the buildings and like the larger mountain structures and stuff like that. Seamus, give me an investigation check real quick. Ooh, that was almost a 1. 26. Sounds good. So Seamus, as you guys were facing in the previous location, when they came down and slammed in the shield and the ground started to sink, the ground sunk faster on just like the basic walking areas and the little grassy areas. There were like some places that had like stone steps or like part of a building or like a little rocky outcropping, and those did segment and come apart just like everything else, but it was slower. Probably about half as much on the more complicated than just the ground structures.
We should at least head for shelter. Try to move into one of these structures back here or something and see if maybe that'll help us with our defenses as we weather the storm, as it were.
And Yaslin and Dro, like I said, it's only 100 feet in every direction. It doesn't take you very long to get to the edge. Give me a perception check for both of you.
Can I do guidance?
Sure.
Well.
Where's my dice?
Today is not the day.
You guys are gonna need all those, like the karmic swing of like when this gets into combat. You guys are gonna need those higher dice, so just be happy about these low rolls now. I'm just trying to help you out.
Right. But it could also be us rolling low all of the session.
Which you have absolutely done before, yes. And which Kiki does all the time. Except for when she touches stuff she's not supposed to.
I say, want to talk about the fire salamander?
So, Yaslin and Dro, you get over to the edge, and you are raised up. The entire platform is like picked you up, and like you are suspended about, at this moment, like you are kind of like raising higher and higher into the sky. You're about 40 or 50 feet up at this moment.
So now would be the ideal time to jump off, is what I'm understanding. Does the ground below look like it's not moving? Besides us moving further away from it.
So it looks almost like you're suspended like by a bunch of roots underneath, and you can kind of like look over and see different parts where you can see the root system like supporting the 200-foot diameter platform that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dragging through, and it's kind of like cutting through, and the ground is like kind of teardropping around you, almost like a shark fin on the top of the water.
Bro, I'm really tempted just to jump off.
I could
like a
jump
ship
too,
in
it'd be
water.
fine. I could take a little
What?
damage. I would take a little damage, but it'd be fine.
Honestly,
The
but,
concern
like,
is the other ones.
Yeah, everyone else. I mean, if I pick them up, I could maybe absorb some of the damage that they take.
Question, Morgan. Can't remember what your
Mhm.
rules are with this. In terms of teleportation and falling, what do you do? Is it, in case, example, I teleport my 30 feet down, which you said was 50, so I drop another 20. That still plays into effect, right? Like I take that 20-foot drop.
Yeah, so I don't remember if I've said this differently before or not, but this is what makes sense to me right now. Momentum carries through
That's
during
what I want.
teleportation. So if you like dropped first and then teleported, you would take 30 feet of, or you would take, you would still have the momentum built up from like your drop, like even if you teleported like flat onto the ground.
So if
Um,
So
example,
teleport first,
I set
and then you fall.
my somehow location to where I can teleport, which would be 30 feet down.
Mhm.
I'm still at the top. I teleport, and my drop starts where I teleport. It'd be 20 feet, right?
Yeah, so it'd be
So
20
I
feet
take
of
no
fall
damage. I would take none.
Yeah, because monkey.
Should we go tell the others?
I will just use message.
Okay. We'll wait here.
And
here.
who am I gonna get in there, hit marker?
Oh, I wonder who.
Joe is gonna be petty like that.
That's an invitation right there.
So, Yaslin and I have reached the end, and it looks to be about a 50-foot drop to possible more stable structure. If you guys
How far away?
would be
Like
a
100
yeah,
feet.
would be 100.
Yeah. So we'd like, if this were like the platform we're on, we'd probably be like over here.
They would need to move
on the other
fast though.
end.
I'm gonna jog 20 feet closer and mind link with him.
God damn
I
it!
can do it at 80 feet.
Is there? Oh, why is Joe?
I mean, this is
It'd be like,
almost 100 feet.
I don't think splitting the group, well, a giant tree is hunting us is a great idea.
Yaslin would see an annoyance look on his face.
Bring them over.
I think it's just better if you all get over here. We jump off.
How do you plan on getting people like myself and Corin down 50 feet without killing us?
Nice grin. If only you knew someone that had the ability to fly, or change into a bird.
Which might be very useful in the fight rather than wasting it now.
And just so I understand, what me and Yaslin see is ground that's not moving, right?
Well, it's like moving around us, so it's not like
Yeah,
it's holding
you-
us.
Yeah, you guys. So the ground beneath you guys is making space for this platform
Oh,
to
I
Are we on
charge
the-
through.
Curious question: are we on the back end of it or the front end?
So
Like, is-
Dro and
is
Yaslin,
ground
you
splitting?
guys, assuming you did not walk towards the storm,
No.
you
we
would be
definitely
towards
walked away.
you would be towards the back,
Okay.
even though the map doesn't really dictate.
Okay.
Hold on, we're coming. We'll figure it out together. I'll let Dolphin speak for himself when we get there.
Come on,
Dolphin's
guys!
figuring,
What's taking you
come
so
on,
long?
come on. The
Dolphin
idiots
just
have a plan.
shouting,
Let's
he's
go.
losing patience. I mean, like, I'm sure if we all just dropped, we'd be fine, unless the ground decides to come and catch us again. But
Yeah, I
Less
think
likely
getting
of
off
that.
this platform and at least buying us some time better than just sitting on a moving platform towards the danger. Again, that was caused by somebody touching something they shouldn't have
wasn't me this time.
this time. But in her defense, she probably would have never have seen that if you didn't kick the rock.
She probably would have touched something's mind anyways if I hadn't touched a rock.
There is no shouldn't. She would have. We would have known that. But we could have at least stalled a little longer.
We could have,
Eh.
but we didn't.
By the time the rest of the group gets over to the edge and looks over, you guys see what they saw. And the platform is about 60 feet in the air.
So now's a good time to jump because we're getting higher and higher.
I'm hoping Margot explained the plan and they walked.
I did. I would have explained the plan as we walked. So, Dolphin, they want you to turn into a bird and fly those of us who can't jump off a cliff down.
Rather
Huh.
than fly, do you think you could maybe take 2 people and glide down? Because it might be quicker than going down and back up. I don't know if you would be able to fly upwards with 2 people, but
I think it would be simply better if I just walked off. And then, when we are on the ground, I will be able to kill everyone. Make everything feel just a little bit better.
I can certainly help with that. I can address the groups.
You want
It
us
means
to
it
jump
much.
and then you'll fix it later?
Dolphin's going to walk off the edge.
Ah, Dolphin!
Great. And as you turn and look over there, is like you guys have been talking, and then like Dro and Yaslin like first got over here. There is a side beginning to form kind of around the edge here.
oh, there's a side. Okay, I'm jumping.
It's not very big yet,
I'll rage.
but it
and then
is
jump.
reacting to
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Yaslin's gonna go ahead and rage and be like, anyone want to ride?
Here's another dumb question. Is there dim light anywhere? Should have asked this sooner. Like shade under a tree or something?
yeah, like you
Okay.
absolutely- there's space for that.
Okay. So he's gonna be Joe's just gonna look there, pop his darkness 30 feet down, shadow step into the darkness, and then negate the rest of the 30.
You can forgive me for this later, right?
Okay,
Take
so
the lizard man. The lizard man looks weak.
Dolphin
lizard
We
man.
need
and
him to heal us. We need him to
Dolphin
heal us.
and Dro are already gone.
Okay, well, which one of you would like to maybe drop in maybe more comfort than the others?
Better go with her. I need you okay to heal me later.
Surprise she
And
Margot
she's-
didn't.
Kenji is going to reabsorb into
Alright.
Leo's crystal.
Yaslin picks up Dire, rages, and drop.
Okay. And ah! And like he like
Don't
grabs his
worry.
grabs his hat and like holds onto his staff, just like you guys begin falling.
I literally think of that cartoon where the hat stays up and they have to grab it and pull it back down.
As everybody starts jumping off, Leo looks over at Seamus. So, do you still have Featherfall?
I was hoping someone would do that.
Yeah, I could do that if we need it. I was still kind of counting heads to see who needed it.
I need
Yeah,
it,
fair.
and I think Corin needs it.
What happened
The
to the
others
giant
already
eagle?
jumped. He jumped off the cliff.
What? You just hear Yaslin like cheering and hooting as she goes down.
Tro just disappears and appears down half 30 feet down.
Yeah, it's just the four of us now.
Just watch Dro
Leo,
drop from
Lauren.
the orb.
Can you do it, Seamus? Get the four of us?
All together now, then.
Alright, let's go.
On the count of 3, 2, 1, jump.
Leo like climbs up and just like leans back into it.
As we gracefully feather fall down.
Seamus stays on top of the platform and just watches you guys fall and just laughs.
And then turns into a bat and drinks our blood.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was gonna
So-
ask if it like, yeah, what's the lighting right now? Dim lighting is important to Seamus also.
It's kind of like around the 3 or 4 o'clock time, and as you get closer to that storm, it gets a little bit dimmer. So you're starting to have like a light haze of cloud cover overhead. I'd still say it's like bright enough that like the clouds just kind of like diffuse the light and everything. Like I'd still consider it bright light. Soon it won't be, if you guys continue heading in that direction.
Got it. I'll cast Feather Fall on myself also and drop off.
Okay. Sounds good. So my damage formula here. Okay, so I said it was 60 feet. Oh boy.
So who's taking the damage? Just Dolphin and
Yeah, as long
Yaslin?
Yeah, but Yaslin will take half.
as dope monk shit.
Okay. So
I can get 6 people with Feather Fall, like, that didn't need to
that
happen,
me?
by the way.
Yeah, but
That
dolphin
whole team attack.
jump
yeah.
for all of us.
Yep. So that'll be 40 points of bludgeoning damage
Yeah.
as you guys fall down. Yaslin, you're gonna take that full amount because you've got a second body.
Oh yeah, fuck. I'm like, oh.
Force equals
Why are you
mass, which you have 2 of, times acceleration. So yes, you can time it that you rage right as you land, but you're landing with double impact.
Mother.
So
Mother.
So your 40 is half damage for you.
Dyer, what the?
Can we talk about how Margot told Yaslin to take Dyer instead of, just letting him take the feather fall?
I still
I
have.
didn't realize he had feather fall.
Fine.
And let's see, Yaslin, roll me either a Constitution save or a Strength save to see how well you cushion Dyer.
Oh yeah, I'll do a strength saving throw because I'll
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm so good. He feels nothing.
Dyer-
It's like. I feel
Yeah.
pretty well.
Dyer's like gonna like bite his lip as he lands. Just like.
Oh, and she like throws him back to the. She like throws him to the ground and is like, Jesus.
The ground definitely cracks below Yaslin's feet, and like that same phenomenon of like that falling shield golem hitting the ground kind of like begins again. Just
Oh, but no! She
Move.
like.
Oh shit, oh shit.
And she's like running.
so, Dolphin, Dyer, and Yaslin. I need all 3 of you to roll dexterity saving throws to see if you go prone or not.
I also
Actually-
have temporary HP, which helped cushion some of the damage. Just so you know.
Okay. Yes.
Big yikes.
Dolphin! Oh no! Oh,
So
no.
Dolphin, you land. It hurts. You get up, and then Yaslin lands right next to you. like the bigger kid jumping right next to the littler kid on the trampoline. You are dislodged and you're prone, but you guys are not in combat. But the space does begin to like drop out from under you. You're able to kind of scramble away, and you see it continue to like open up again. And you see, actually, then so switching to the other group, you see this happen as like Yaslin falls and cracks the ground. It begins to separate, and the rest of you that are above, give me a perception check. So basically, Margot and Seamus, give me a perception check to see what you see as you're gently gliding down.
Yaslin, what did you do?
Here, Marcos. Quiver.
I trusted you.
18 and 21. Sure. You see the platform above kind of start to fall in, like descend back towards the ground. And about another 100-foot thing begins to raise up around where Yaslin impacted. Slowly. But noticeably.
So like there's a hole in the earth, but it's also rising?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't take very long. So the hole like begins to open up. And then it begins to seal itself pretty quickly. But the 100-foot space around you begins to move as it like transfers where it thinks you are.
We're going to have to keep doing this. The earth is picking you up again.
Well, cool. I totally dropped Dire, and I just want to see when they yell that how fast this platform is raising.
It raises up about 10 feet every 30 seconds or so.
Oh. I can run 80 feet in 6 seconds.
You can.
I can.
Enjoy your life. Don't forget to tell all of my brothers and sisters how much I love them and tell them how you left me behind.
Okay,
As
okay.
I'm slowly floating down.
So yeah, as she's floating down, I'm going to actually like run off of this platform.
Mm-hmm.
I have a climb speed, so if I have to like climb down the earth so I don't take another hit of damage, I'll climb down
you're-
pieces of earth.
You're fine. You're able to do that.
Seamus have another feather fall.
Am I like, is the platform moving up? Can I like see the earth moving up and I'm like on solid ground, or do I feel like my earth is also moving up now?
I think it's impact is what's triggering it.
So you're just moving and like climbing down and jumping, right?
Yeah, I'm just like climbing down and like hopping on what would be no longer this second platform that's beginning to fall.
Okay. Yep. It's not very high. It's about 12 feet when you start down. Yeah, you can easily like just like hang off the edge and like drop. Yaslin, give me a perception check.
Guys, I think this is a totally safe area I'm in.
Margot just says and throws it. This is not working. Your plan did not work.
It would have worked if she didn't put a hole in the ground.
I'm gonna go ahead and follow after Yaslin and just, hop off.
Okay. Sounds good.
Rose,
Probably about then that Margot and the rest of the crew hit the ground gently.
They hit the ground, they see everyone else already.
yeah. When Yaslin took off, Joe would have took off and while running had that conversation with Margot, and all he would say is, "Keep running."
Let's go.
I can't keep Featherfall in us.
Yeah, and I don't think Corin can keep up. I don't know what his movement speed is actually. He's a dragonborn, probably pretty good.
Yeah, you see Corin, he's big and hefty, but he's goof, 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 goof. He's right behind you guys.
Well,
So as far as I know, the ground I'm standing on feels pretty good, right?
If I dash, I can move 105 feet per turn.
alright, go get him, Seamus. Make her stop
So-
running!
So, Margot and Seamus, one more time, perception checks, please.
Not rolling.
Watch.
It's gonna roll like 5 times.
Yeah.
Watch.
Watch.
I did it twice,
Here
okay.
it comes.
6.
Oh, okay, so we'll
The
keep
first
the
one's
first
6.
one for Margot. Seamus, it's not as obvious, but you see, like, over where Yaslin is and, like, the rest of them, the ground is starting to move up a little bit. However, yours begins to move down.
Hmm. Maybe it wants her as a sacrifice.
Now the real question is, how is that one going to move over the one that's standing still?
Ugh.
Do we don't notice this at all, but I assume we're just gonna keep running. Yaslin's like, listen, we're gonna outrun this one way or another. Maybe. Pop, pop, pop.
You told the monk to run, he's running.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got team running, which consists of who?
I think Seamus can catch up to them pretty fast with this 105 feet of movement, too.
Yeah, Seamus,
I-
what are you choosing to do?
I would be running to keep up with everybody, but I would also not let our team, other people fall too far behind. So if, like, Margot and Corin are starting to, like, fall behind, then I will purposefully start to drop back.
I mean, I think
Okay,
it's
Cor-
Leo, me, and Corin are just 60 feet max
and
around.
dire.
And Dyer.
Corin has 40 feet of movement. So he's a little bit faster. He's got a lot of strength to him. So
Just
the
need
ones that
to
would
go Dyer?
the ones that would lag behind are Leo and Corin, or Leo and Dyer.
And me.
Yep, if
Unless-
everybody was running together.
I mean, we're trying, but I think this 3 of us only have 60 feet of movement, so we're just lagging.
You think Corn could carry,
That would half his
Margo?
movement speed.
Let's just add him to the list of everyone that's carried Margot.
yeah, well, we gotta add him to the list eventually, so.
So allow me whoever is proficient with investigation, give me an investigation check.
Woot.
Let's just see. Probably not. No.
I'm an expert in investigation. Or not.
Oh,
You spoke too soon.
I did.
I'm an expert.
Rolls a 4.
A +7. I have 2 check marks.
Okay.
Dyer.
Dyer is skilled and he rolled pretty well. So you guys generally gather up, start running, and things just feel a little bit off after a while. At first it feels like normal, and then you eventually start to feel slight slipping of the ground beneath you, like pushing yourself forward from your foot as it impacts the ground takes a little bit less energy than it should. And eventually Dyer speaks up. It's moving beneath us.
It just rerouted all the terrain.
It's slight, but as he points it out, you guys start to recognize what's happening. You kind of stop, and the ground in front of you is slowly pulling back. It stopped bothering with raised platforms, and it's just like moving backwards instead. And Dyer, like, kind of begins to, like, this bollocks. It has tremor sense. It can feel where we are, especially Yaslin and Corin.
I'm not that fat.
You're not.
No, but you're
Actually,
dense.
I'm dense, but I don't wear armor kind of dense.
You are armor kind of dense.
I'm not.
Does he say specifically the ground that we're standing on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and after he kind of like points it out, you guys start to see it too.
We're not outrunning this.
Is there a structure
won't.
nearby?
Are the plants and the weather working together?
What are you talking about?
The ground seems to be moving us to the storm.
Yeah.
Oh,
How do they know how to do that?
because he
It's
rolled
the
really
thing
high.
in the storm.
The thing with the eyes that dolphins saw.
That's connected to all the vines beneath us. If I could connect to it through the vines, it clearly connects to the vines. Like,
Do you think if you
Fire
started
says.
burning them away?
with what? I don't have magic!
I'd like to cast Thaumaturgy 30 feet away and cause harmless tremors on the ground.
Ooh. Okay. Are you guys still running?
Question.
I think I'm speed walking now.
Is there like
I'm running to keep up with the speed walking.
while we're moving, is there like a rock Dro can pick up and then look for a structure, not directly the ground, but like a rune or something?
Yeah, you can pick up a rock.
To throw it at the runes.
You kind of like grab a rock, and you have to give it a little bit of a tug because there is just a little vine attached to it,
Okay.
and it kind of slithers back and down between the cracks.
He's going
Throw
to
it at a room.
try to throw it on top and make it land on top.
Oh my god, I made a tremors encounter. That was not intentional.
I'm curious of something. 'Cause we've only
You throw it up there. You throw it up and like ding, 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 and it like catches on one side, stops moving. You don't see anything up there. Dauphin, as you guys are still moving, Carl, you cause the tremors 30 feet away with thaumaturgy, and you do see the ground slowly begins to move in that direction, and then after a moment, kind of stops. And to be clear and like give you guys some mechanics, this is not, you guys are basically walking against like 1/4 reduction for basically difficult terrain. Every time you take 4 steps, it's essentially like pulling you back 1 step. So you guys are 3/4 speed right now, essentially.
So I'm just going at 30.
Did the ground beneath where Dro threw the rock, so on top of the rune, the ground that the rune is on, did it react?
You saying rune or room?
Rune. Ruin.
Ruins.
Ruins. whatever.
Ruin. Oh, okay. Nope.
It's the ground. So if we get up high and don't touch the ground or put a hole in it,
Well,
Then
as long as I'm not
nothing
carrying
goes us.
an extra 100+ pounds, I won't be putting holes in things.
I'm going to go ahead and cast Thaumaturgy one more time. And make my, well, probably not one more time, probably, one of many more. I'm going to make my voice boom as loud as it can go with Thaumaturgy, and I'm just going to tell everyone, stop moving right now!
I like
You see
slow
Dyer is
down.
like,
I'm going to then cast Thaumaturgy as a cantrip, and I'm going to cast it directly at my feet and slowly move it in a line 30 feet away from me, in the opposite direction of where the party is going.
okay. You guys do feel some pulling. And like you guys kind of fade back a little bit as the thaumaturgy is nearby. And as it moves further and further away, it's probably by the time it reaches about the 20-foot mark, you stop moving at all. And the ground continues to shift beneath where it is. About 30 feet away, you've got about a 10-foot buffer.
I will go ahead and just... Did I see Dro throw the rock?
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Okay. Then I am not going to say anything. I'm just going to go ahead and point at the elevated structures and start running towards them.
Okay. As you do, you run and you begin to shift, and that three-quarters movement, takes you a little while longer, but you guys can all get to a structure and get up on top of it.
I'm going to go ahead and, as we're running, I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy behind us, going in the opposite direction like this. Or,
Okay.
I've got my camera's not over here anymore, it's over here.
Yeah, you've only got a 30-foot range, so it's about 30 feet backwards, but like both sections start to move. Give me an insight check or an investigation check.
Does Dro clock that Dolphin's trying to get, doing this?
Oh yeah, everybody's aware.
So as he moves, Dro's gonna keep.
He's not trying to hide.
Dro's gonna keep popping out darts and throwing them in that direction to hit the ground. Towards that direction. Just like a couple.
Dolphin, you definitely notice that you're still moving underneath as your footfalls are falling, and then you do see that it is moving on the other side as well.
Well. That's about all I can do right now.
Okay, so is anybody doing something other than getting up on the buildings?
I'll follow everyone.
Is there dim light up from where Dro is to the structure? I'm gonna use this ability.
Yeah.
As you
Yeah,
should.
for sure.
Just
Yeah, there is. Because there's hills, there's trees, there's inside of the rooms, there's little structural overhangs. Yeah, you've got space to pop around.
So as soon as Dro runs under a shadow, he just disappears and appears up on the structure.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So without much trouble, the lot of you get to the top of this structure. You guys are kind of scattered around. This is a little bit like the put it out, you fools moment. Where you guys are, oh no, not that one, but where all those like, where they're like sword training in Lord of the Rings and all those like birds fly overhead. You guys are like a little bit scattered, like all over this, on top of this.
Over at Amenhen?
What? No, over on top of the structure. I was just thinking about it.
No,
'Cause I
I-
remember like when they all hide, they're in like several different locations within the little area around them.
Amenhen is the ruins where Boromir dies.
Oh no, not that one. Sorry, I didn't. One, I did not know that factoid. Two, I did not hear you properly.
Oh, gotcha. I'm just a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Cool. So as you guys all climb up, and after a few moments of you like your last step falls like being on the ground does stop moving and readjusting.
Is there any like pebbles or kind of baseball-sized rocks sitting around?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and like chuck one as far as I can out.
Okay. Same thing as with Dro. You kind of like pick up a rock and just snap, a little vine attached to it. And you kind of have to like grab it out of the ceiling. And as you do, it moves.
The rock move?
And your underneath you moves. And you shift. Do you move? Do you react?
I don't move. I just throw the rock still. I commit.
Okay. And Corin, who is next to you, does not move, and he kind of gets like rerouted. You guys essentially like change places, as like your spot moves and Corin's like shifts around to take the spot that it was. It's like one of those like little puzzle tiles where you like move things like around, and then you throw the rock and it lands, and you see that bit of space move until it stops.
But I'm no longer moving.
You're no longer moving. It doesn't last very long.
Are those creatures around? Those little things?
After you pause, yeah.
And are they moving or
you
are
can
they
see-
standing still?
No, you see them like darting around every once in a while. Like
Okay.
they don't seem to be attracting the attention of the movement of the space.
Maybe because they piss it off.
So at the moment, nothing's happening.
Is the crisis over?
I'm just gonna
Doubtful.
hold a hand to my lips and just.
Come on. Really? I can't talk now?
Dro's just next to Yaslin and puts his hand over her mouth.
As you guys are up here, and as she, talks and all that, you guys don't seem to be moving at all.
Dolphin will go ahead and fall to his knees and just close his eyes, begin a trance.
So are we just gonna rest here until the storm arrives then?
Well, that's a little dull.
Still a little better than where we were, I suppose.
You are right about that.
In Margot's head. She still decided to get into Dro's head. What do you think?
I think this is our best bet right now. At least we're not getting pulled closer. It has to come to us. I wish we had more supplies and time and equipment to set up some kind of trap or defense, but we will
Well,
have to do with what we have.
and I think moving anything in this general area kind So,
Yeah,
This
it
is
just
all in
says
his
out
head.
loud. Out loud.
Yeah, we're just talking out loud to herself.
Dro just
you
look.
have nothing.
Margot and Joe look at her like, how did you do that?
I have nothing to do.
So, between like your collective understandings of this space around you now, you guys can try to rest up. You can try to continue to get out of here. But the process will most definitely inflict levels of exhaustion on you.
I just
The
think it's
chance of it, the chance of escape are quite feasible. But it means leaving this area and going into whatever is next in the next area with exhaustions.
I don't think it's worth.
Is the
No.
unknown better?
Because if
Where-
we go in with exhaustion, we're also going in with half the party tapped.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're still going in. So, do we know what? So obviously we know the direction the storm is coming from, right?
Yeah, so the terrain is trying to drag you to the east towards the storm. The speed at which you guys were slowed down is not super significant. Like I said, it's not even quite half speed.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys can make progress. You're just a little bit delayed. It's going to take more effort going that way if you're running like you were. And so you can escape. You can probably escape the area of Paishan altogether. But to do so would require several hours straight of running.
Ugh. I mean, yeah, someone could probably pull off it without being too hurt by everything. I just don't think anyone else could.
Yeah, it's essentially this would be very favorable for those with high constitutions, because there would be several stages of rolling constitution saves to resist the effects of exhaustion. And if you have low constitution, this is going to hurt.
Even then, though, we'd be entering a new area with half of our
Resources,
magic
yeah.
users trapped, without resources, with exhaustion.
Yeah, that wouldn't be worth it, I don't
Potentially.
think. Does
Just-
it look... Could we tell if the storm is coming towards us at all? Or is it just, like, impossible from this distance?
As you guys are kind of just sitting here thinking, looking, I'm not even going to make you roll for it. The storm doesn't seem to be expanding, or at least
Okay.
not at a fast rate.
We could probably get a long
It's
rest then.
mostly just centralized, and it is growing ever so slightly, but not like a holy shit it's coming for us speed.
Yeah, okay, great. That's good.
Well,
Out of curiosity, just 'cause I'm curious. Then I think it's still a stupid idea, but continuously running. Could Dro just teleport every 30 feet without moving?
Yeah.
I'm stealing
Yeah.
something from your book, Lily.
Good.
Yeah, Dro, you could do that. I'm still gonna consider that if that's the case, let me see, as a monk, I would probably have you roll against your wisdom for your exhaustion levels then. Because it is an ability that does take focus to use.
Yeah, and rapid
But you-
succession.
Yeah, but it would be a better setup for you since your con is not super high.
They're
and your
the
wisdom
same.
is.
They're the same.
Oh, okay, then never
They're
mind.
same.
It's about
Is that a +5
Echo's
con
stats
save,
were better.
but-
I'm just curious. It's good to know, though.
mhm.
If I were to shift into an eagle, I'd be able to travel a mile in 2.5 minutes if I'm dashing for the entirety of it. So, if I wanted to, I could just leave.
I thought about your
Aren't you
eagle,
lucky?
but I don't know. We need a higher level polymorph, wouldn't we?
Mhm.
Polymorph someone else.
Mhm. Well, I think
yeah.
you guys would need a polymorph in general. I mean, besides Seamus's cloak.
was gonna say,
more
yeah.
than one
I get
polymorph
you,
too.
man,
Yeah.
It only
I can
lasts,
create
only
water.
lasts for an hour.
Mm.
Dolphin the wild
distance.
shape for like 4 hours at a time or something right now, right?
Yeah.
I think we just try to squeeze some a longer rest.
Do shifts.
Yeah.
Because I could take the first one and get my short rest in.
All I need is 4 hours, so.
I really only need a short rest.
Yeah,
too.
that's all I need. I mean, it'd be nice to have a couple spell slots back, but I can do without them. I can actually be
Well, I
a
mean-
normal monk.
I don't mind sitting there for 4 hours and just waiting for everyone to wake up.
Yeah, but I think it would be.
So-
it would probably be beneficial to have other people taking shifts with you, just in case you miss something.
And Seamus, give me another investigation check. Okay. This is your area of expertise, and it was your spell, and you saw it before. When your group landed off of that first platform, you landed gently, and the ground did not react to you.
Okay. I don't know what to do with that extra information.
We just use our tippy toe feet.
Yeah, it's
Mechanically, basically, you guys could also try to stealth out of here,
that's what I was wondering.
but it's at half speed.
Hmm.
I'm just saying I have key points.
Good for you.
What are your key points going to do?
Let's just say I can help with our stealth.
Oh,
yeah.
that face. Okay, yeah.
I think. Hold on. Let me see how much it is. But I think I have just enough. Hold that thought. Act like I didn't say that.
I don't think you have enough for that right now. I think you're too low.
You can spend 2 key points. I have 2 key points. To cast
I thought it
one
was 4.
spell. 2 key points to cast Darkness, Dark Vision, Pass Without a Trace, or Silence. It'd be
And
everything.
what's the duration of?
An hour.
An hour, I think. Yeah.
So you could get an hour worth of highly benefited stealthing if Troy does that.
Yeah, more distance away. Even if we
Do
start
you
moving
think-
forward.
What if we took a short rest? Like we just took an hour break here.
Popping it.
Does your stuff refresh on it? A
Key
short rest?
points. I thought key points
Mhm.
do.
Yeah, a key. I think key points
Oh,
do.
key
So
points? Yeah, I think
That's what I
so.
use to
if we
cast it.
did
I don't use
key
spell slots for
points-
it.
If we did key points, and then maybe you'd have enough to get us out of here all the way.
If we did that,
If
I
we
would
rolled really
have.
good.
We would have 3 hours to Pass Without a Trace.
And I said you guys would have to be running like full speed for several hours. So you'd
We'd make it like maybe half the way.
but you're at
Half
Yes.
speed.
Yeah, we're at half.
so
versus quarter.
one of two things. You can forego stealthing and do Pass Without a Trace, and so essentially I'll do it like this. If you guys pop Pass Without a Trace and then move at half speed, it's just a straight roll plus 10. If you guys do Pass Without a Trace and then run, it's at disadvantage plus 10.
That disadvantage.
It's just a higher chance of a nat 1.
Mhm.
I mean, there is the option too of getting a short rest
One of our
in and then
party
doing
already
it.
has disadvantage. So
Can't get it more than once.
Yeah. So
can't be more disadvantaged than that.
Would that
Clink, clank, clank.
would pass without a trace cancel out his disadvantage?
No, because the pass without a trace is just a straight bonus. It doesn't have anything to do with advantage or disadvantage.
Would it be stupid to have, like, I keep saying this, Dolphin carry him, so he's not touching the ground at all, he's not moving, even though Dolphin will move at half speed.
Who are we talking about?
Corin.
Corin.
Get him off the
Corin.
ground, so he would be in the air, he wouldn't have to move, but Dolphin would go at half speed, but we would also be going at half speed, but with pass without a trace. So I could hit Dolphin too.
I don't think Dolphin would need it if he's flying, though.
But it would
'cause
give
it's
him
never gonna
advantage,
distinct sense
I would
him.
imagine, wouldn't it? Because he's not on the ground.
No, it's just a straight
doesn't-
roll, but this is tremor sense that we're talking about. So like
Mm-hmm.
once Dolphin is airborne, doesn't matter
Doesn't
what it
matter.
does.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that just removes the...
I have advantage on stealth, so I'll be fine either way. But it's really more about
I have a
like
ridiculously high stealth.
Yaslin and Leo. I think because I think
I
our
don't have a bad stealth, but
Vamp has good stealth.
I'm not proficient in stealth by any means, but I don't have a bad dex. And I'm not wearing armor.
How's our bard?
He's nimbly. I'm not
If
proficient at it, but I've done it before and do just fine typically.
if Dolphin flies, Corin, it might be worth it to run with pass without a trace.
Can Dolphin take Leo and Corin maybe?
It's a lot.
He got 2 claws.
That might
Yeah,
be
but they're
too
large.
much weight.
Yeah, with let's see here.
But he does have ridiculous movement speed, so even if it was halved, it might be.
The
Does it-
question is can he fly with 2 people on top of him?
Mhm.
Especially
Yeah.
if one of them has like heavy armor.
But then there's
Yeah,
a
and
concern with
Leo's-
his exhaustion levels.
Yeah, and he's not small. Like Leo's not small or light either. So the two of them together would be pretty hefty. I mean, Corin being, jeez, I think Corin's like 6'8" or something. If Dolphin carried them both, let me see, what's Giant Eagle's strength? 16. It's not bad. So yeah, I'd give it to you that Giant Eagle could handle 2 people. Any 2 people it could handle. So you guys have the option of like try to burn through, take a lot longer to try to stealth out, burn your abilities to make yourselves more stealthy and less detectable getting out, or rest up for a fight.
I say we take a short rest and go.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have 3 uses of
Yeah,
pass without a
let's do that.
trace than 1.
Are you gonna be if this plan goes really south, guys? Are we going to just try to find another structure to go on and then bunker down, or?
I think that's the only way, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll try to keep to the solid structures if we can. And then maybe even use the pass without a trace towards the end of our journey. So it's gonna be able to track us for a while, but then towards the end we'll lose it.
Disappear.
Give us the best chance to get away. If it gets dark out, I can take to the air as well, but not until it's dim light.
You
Which by
know-
this time it is kind of getting to left at 5 o'clock, 5 and after. You're really not too far off from dim light.
Then I'll be like a ghost.
Well, I'm glad one of us will be like a ghost.
We
Long
all
rest and run.
here. Let's
For
yeah,
short rest.
take a short
Yeah,
rest.
short rest.
And ready, stop doing anything.
Yeah, I have another question. So while we were like running in our two separate groups, did it feel like it was just pulling the general area around us, or if it was like actually on like the individuals?
So this give me investigation to try to like determine what it was doing.
Because I was just thinking, like, what if we had spread out enough to where it had no choice but to focus more on one person, and maybe our better runner could just listen. It was a shot in the dark.
It took me a second to see where you were going with that.
But do you like feel it's like maybe it, like either it
Row
has
is
to
bait.
like pull a huge, like if we're all in an area, it just has to pull one chunk of area, but if we're spread out in like a string, then it either has to pull a huge piece of land back, or it's going to have to be more efficient in like, you know, or it might have to pull us back even slower because of how much land it has to pull back.
Yes, but we have to be close for throw spell.
That is true.
Cast it once.
No, that
Okay, you have to be close to me when I cast it.
Yes.
and then afterwards you can spread out as far as you want.
Which I should know how many people that can hit.
Anybody within a 30-foot radius.
Each creature of my
30
choice, yeah.
Anybody within 30 feet of you, there's no limit.
God, that's broken.
It's a great spell.
It is. Yeah, it leaves and behind no tracks or the trace of your passage, so.
It was just a thought. I don't know though if it would be very much something I feel like we'd have to try in the moment.
I'm
probably.
not throwing fuel into the fire of Dro being the bait, but she does have a point because if he runs and it's dark enough, he can just teleport up to a structure. And all of a sudden, the trimmer that was tracking is gone. I'll throw a
Ribbon.
rock or something.
Mhm.
Maybe not, because that
I
might.
feel like it might. I don't know. It's weird. I don't quite.
I would love that to be very, very, very last resort.
It's just a theory because I was like, it could probably sense all of us. If it has like this entire mind system beneath us, it can probably feel us. But like how much it can influence time,
The ground. Anything on
how much
top of the
can
ground.
it influence at a time without
I want to know why those
using,
little
like, all of
creatures
its
aren't
resources.
affected.
They're
They're
probably its friends or
elementals.
something. They
Dro,
didn't
give
piss
me-
off the robots.
Dro, as you're paying attention, trying to figure that out, give me a perception check.
Rolling the physical dice. 'Cause it's
Alright.
I need it. Can I use guidance or no?
Yeah, that's fine.
16.
16, sure.
Yeah.
Occasionally you see some of them kind of dipping around, and you see them, one of them like run across like this area over here of exposed stone, and you just go,
That's another thing I was wondering. There's got to be a limit that it can sense. 'Cause I don't, if I'm correct, I don't think it sensed the ones on Featherfall until they started moving. Because when they stood still, there was nothing moving. It got us because we ran, and you put a hole in the ground.
Actually, I feel like if I had fallen individually, it would have been less of a hole than if I were carried.
What
Dyer.
a
Dyer, I'm
cinch.
sorry to say, but you are a lot to carry.
People tell me I'm a lot all the time. Don't worry about it.
But
I don't
not
doubt
in
that.
a bad way, just in a you might dent the earth kind of way.
I've got a lot of depth and weight to my personality, I'm aware.
Yeah, exactly.
Just gonna sit and rest while
You,
we're having this
Dyer,
conversation.
you're like a pretty well-known playwright, story type person. Have you heard any stories of this place?
As I mentioned, you. Oh shoot, who did I lord drop that with?
I don't think it was me for sure. So
No, Dyer knew that this place was called Paishan, but like, there's been no contact with this place for a while.
yeah, I remember
I want to say it was either
Mhm.
Dolphin or Margot.
Dolphin knew that, yeah.
Okay.
Dauphin knew that. Yeah. Now I'm just also putting this out there. But doesn't somebody need to handle this at some point?
Are you suggesting we do it?
I'm suggesting that most problems don't go away on their own. They fester and come back with increased potency.
I don't really see an angle to it, to be honest with you, Tyre. The Soldiers of Eon, we've got a real war going on out there. We've got these fire elementals that we have to go to battle with, and if we're stuck here fighting plants right now, we can't go raise funds in an army up north or get the information that we need.
If you try to save the world, you'll save nobody. Nobody's capable of so much. We can't help everyone, everywhere we go.
So
So
The
how
knowledge-
do you choose?
the knowledge we have is that there was once a really high advanced technological city that is
Which
now
I think we
beneath
saw.
the vines.
That's the gist of it.
Just taking a gander.
And
Do I
Corin
feel
will-
like
Oh, go ahead.
wood? This thing is being fueled on a power source.
Yes.
So what happens when it runs out?
It's probably gonna go looking for more power somewhere, I suppose. The same thing like anything when it runs out of resources.
It's not far from the Ripple Mountains and the Kirin.
That would be a
Um,
pretty good power source for it.
And Corin speaks up. And I was almost taken for whatever reason,
You,
as were
Corin,
others down there.
you said were following tunnels, right?
Yes, for the creature that destroyed my village. Same one I've been hunting, and I found some of the tunnels. Came down and entered into kind of this viney space. Got into a conflict with some of the constructs, and then woke up when you guys almost dropped a stone on me.
Corin,
That little bit probably saved my life so far.
what's the
You're welcome.
chance that the creature you're looking for found whatever was down there? If your tunnels that you followed led to that.
Are you saying, what if the lava worm that I've been following found whatever this is?
Or vice versa.
Well, the lava worm was large enough and hot enough to exist inside of an active volcano and burrow up, cause a volcano nearby to erupt. And then it spewed forth creatures that my villagers had to fight off. Many died. So as far as an energy source goes, probably potent.
I don't know though. It seemed like these vines, when Margot threw fire at them, were pretty vulnerable to it. I don't think it would go. Its first pick would be a fire source.
But we are assuming that the fire is the same fire flower we fought and destroyed, right? No.
I think they're different. This was...
But what if their tunnels connect?
That's what I'm wondering. What led you to that tunnel that led to this creature if you were tracking a fire creature?
When, after I took Nort back home, I was out of leads except for one that I was scared to try again. And so I entered into the tunnel that it left as it left the village.
Oh.
I followed the original clue that I wouldn't have to. Then it's been a couple of months since, or like 5-6 months since it attacked, but I didn't have anything else to go off of.
And the end of the tunnel that you know of led into the vines?
I certainly didn't see the end of the tunnel, but it did go through. And that's when I encountered the vines and the constructs.
So it's probably
I'm
the vines.
I was certainly interested in the construction of the constructs, and smithing and materials is something I'm very interested in.
Alright. Well, we're missing a lot of variables. We have a lot of information. I think we're just missing, like, key deciding factors of whether this is a now threat or a threat we can come back to if it's just going to eat this power source for a while longer.
Morgan, would Dro, with his background and all that information, would he have any clue of any resources he could inform for help? You're muted.
Dang it. Yes.
Back home?
Not back home, through your regular channels.
Oh.
You do have options. I mean, back home also, yes, but you don't have to be home to pull that trigger.
And we haven't seen, God damn it, what are they called? A way to communicate back home at the moment, right?
Yeah, not at the moment. The reference, and I think I've said this before, is that at some point you guys can, and this is kind of well known about the messengers, is that you can pick up and like you can purchase like one-time use items that will summon one to your location, and you can use their services and then they unsummon.
Should've
Good
grabbed
to know in town.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're
Know that.
they're not exactly cheap to do that.
I wouldn't have one of those. Fuck.
I can only reach out to my people in my empire.
Dro would
Help us here.
sitting there kind of half-ass meditating. I It's a shot in the dark, but back home, there might be resources and support that could help deal with this. Because I do agree with Dolphin, this needs to be addressed. I just think, based on previous encounters with such beings, which I'm imagining is very powerful considering what it could do to Margot, that a little bit of help, planned help, as he kind of glances down at his arm, would be beneficial. And I will say he is gripping the sword very tight when he mentioned home.
Here's another very, very stupid idea. Do we
Okay.
know somewhere fairly far from any population centers of danger?
What?
Right here.
I mean, but we're drawing that thing towards us, right?
More like it's drawing us to him, or it, whatever it is.
What if I said this was stupid? What if I reached out again, allowed it to mark me, and Dolphin flew me as fast as possible the opposite way while you guys ran and got help?
No,
No.
no.
So we
We're
set
not
it up
going
like a
to.
wild
We're
goose
not
hunt.
playing you as bait.
It would work. Probably.
Oh, Joe's not near Dire. Damn it.
I'll be right back.
No. Joe just stares at you.
Self-sacrifice is the markings of heroes.
It wouldn't be
I'll do the
self,
tails
it would
stuff.
require Dolphin, which is why I would ask his input on that plan. Because I can't move fast enough to get away, but he said he can fly incredibly fast.
So you want
And-
us to lose you again? After we all...
I want you to go get help.
Yeah, but getting help at the cost of both of you doesn't seem very good. It doesn't feel good.
Oh, battles, wars, they're not meant to feel good. This is a conflict. It's meant to be tactical.
Where would
And
we
we're
go
safe.
for help?
The Dolphin can just fly away, drop me, fly back, catch up to you guys.
Margot,
That way it's only to one person.
Margot, what do you think of this group as?
I don't understand your question.
I mean, when you look at us, and the reason you're traveling with us, why? God, I wish it was near
We-
Dire.
I think we can be of use to each other.
Is that the
I
only
have
reason?
support and I mean, you saved my life, so I owe you that. I owe you mine in exchange.
Yeah,
Why is there something?
You joined a group of strangers, dove into the heart of a volcano, risked your life to save a woman who was trying to kill us. So you saying that, and correct me if I'm wrong, we are just something that's beneficial, I find quite bullshit. I think there's more to it. And it's ironic because, and he points to each person, every single one of us, including Dolphin, who didn't know you at all, jumped into your trippy dream realm, put everything on the line to bring you back. So that seems a little bit more than just companions.
Then let me return the favor.
What favor are you returning?
It's how you do it. It's done. It's how relationships like this work.
I think she's getting at there is no favor to return. Because I feel every single one of us would protect each other.
You, think of it as a balanced exchange. It's how maybe it's not how you people work, but it's how my people work. It's how I was raised.
It's understandable. I'm gonna tell you right now. Growing up the way I did, didn't matter what you did. You find people that you want to protect, and you protect them. You don't let them jump into danger. And looks at everybody.
What did I do?
I'm not jumping blindly into danger. It's a tactical plan that would enable you to get support, resources, a large group of personnel from the mountains to potentially fight this. Especially if the threat is headed that way.
But it's a mission.
I don't think the people of the Ripples are ready for a fight again, to be honest with you. I don't think we can go there to look for support, and I don't know if there's any support ahead. Which means that as much as your sacrifice is nice, and I started this by saying that maybe we'll start with a sacrifice. I didn't want you all to jump in there.
Yeah, let's not all get too eager to sacrifice ourselves. I think we've done enough of like the self-sacrificing for a while.
Alright, do you have a better plan? Other than us all stand and face a giant 3Bs?
I don't think we should alone.
If we're done taking our short rest, then let's move away from here as stealthily as we can.
This is a very Yasmin thing to say.
Everybody can take a short rest.
Yeah, during that short rest, can I go ahead and flick on my my device, what I've been missing for the past couple of months? Oops. It's very like Yasmin to forget she has something and then to be like, oh, now that you mention contacting people.
I can... Let me try something that does not guarantee any level of success.
Okay, well, will it be more of a risk for you to try this? And if it's you contacting the plants again?
No.
That smile right there tells me all I need to know about this plan.
It is not contacting the plants. It's not. I am writing a letter. Calm down. Calm down.
For what? The plants?
Morgan, at the beginning of the short rest, could I have written a quick missive to my organization and just request explain freebies and request support if possible?
You guys can stick around as long as you want. So like you could start this message now, and you've still got time to like write it and all that. That's fine.
Because we have a short rest to do it, so I'd write it at the beginning of the short rest.
Are we in the White Marsh or we're in the White Marsh, right?
You guys are north of the White Marsh. So you've got like Rippletop, and then like directly south of that is the White Marsh, and you guys are moving into the area above. So you guys are essentially like, because of the placement of Ripple Downs, it was shorter to go around the mountain and like into the grasslands rather than like go all the way around the other side of the mountain, which would put you closer to the coast. So there's a coastline, and then you guys are a little ways inland from that because you essentially went counterclockwise around the mountain because you were closer to that side anyways.
Okay, that makes sense. Alright, awesome. Just for reference.
Counterclockwise or clockwise around it? Towards the
clockwise is towards the coast. Counterclockwise was the shorter route because of where the Ripple Downs is placed on the mountain, and so you guys went counterclockwise towards the plains. basically, if we're talking about like Ripple is a clock, since Ripple Downs is approximately placed at like the 4 o'clock part of like the circular or of the circumference of the mountain. So if you guys went the other way, you'd have to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rather than like 4, 3, 2, 1.
While I'm writing my message, I do it stealthily with my back turned to Dro and Yaslin.
Yes, roll a sleight of hand.
And press the digitator away.
Every ounce
They're
might
very
be...
far away from me.
I could just teleport in front of you.
Jacqueline's doing her own thing right now. She's like sitting down.
Motherfucker.
Oh, that changes my decision.
I have source of points, but I don't want to waste it on this.
With that, Leo and Seamus notice you're riding. The others probably not.
Even with the
Leo,
conversation
you would notice
that we
that
had?
the writing disappears as I write it. It doesn't look like I'm casting prestidigitation. Prestidigitation. It's just disappearing as I finish writing it.
Do we see that she's doing something?
I told you I was writing the letter.
Yeah, from your vantage point, she's riding. Like you see her, like, but
her
the only
back.
ones who have view of the book are Seamus and Leo.
But her back is turned. That's what Drone's clocking.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you clock that.
There might be resources in Aurora's Rest that could help with this. And kind of looks over at Yaslin. Yeah, getting in for me might be an issue. I just say didn't leave on good terms, or was my choice to leave?
Yeah, he kind of already told me that. She's kind of half paying attention, half not. At the moment, she's staring at her wrist.
Dro just looks at her. You were the one that told me I should probably tell them.
Yeah. Right now? Really? While we're stranded on a bunch of ruins? I mean, now it's better than never, I guess.
Just looks back at everybody else. So I don't actually know how they'll react if they see me, nor if they remember.
I mean, do you look different than how you looked, like...
I think we
However
need more
many-
contacts.
Technically I did. But you've also seen the look that they saw. And he kind of points at the scar. It wasn't me. It was Echo. Recalling the marks that go across his face, his hair.
Right. Mm-hmm.
A few people knew that it wasn't me, but it was. It's a very difficult topic. There are some people that I know I can trust there. But it's a big if. People in the city recognize me. I wasn't well known. The incident was.
What he's saying is us going to his city might be a problem.
What? The circumstances of your departure.
And he'll just kind of open his eyes because he's been meditating and talking to you guys. Remember when I told you looking at Margot. When me and Echo met,
Mm-hmm.
we really only known each other most of our lives. I was born not knowing who my parents were, and that was the only family I had. There was an individual that watched over me and trained me in my combat skills to utilize my ability and kind of motions to the shadows and stuff. The shadows to my advantage. But I was what some would call an outcast, a misfit in the city, which may be helpful because people don't know me much. My appearance is not very common in Aurora's Rest. I was taken in, but there was one individual who treated me like a normal being. And I told you... And he pulls out the sword. You've probably seen the stain on this sword. I've told you this is not technically my sword. It is Echo's. There was an incident one night where, let's just say, a very important family, I wouldn't say important, but feared family, group of mercenaries was breaking into this one individual's, and he'll stop and he will look at the necklace that Yaslin is wearing. Her name was Freya. Wrong place at the wrong time. And they were robbing her, and I think that was the first moment that I felt rage. And Echo made an appearance to those besides myself. And that experience, which you, besides you, Dolphin, have seen, I don't quite remember what happens. For the most part, it has gotten better. But the last thing I remember is me kneeled down with Freya's blood-covered body in my arms and the sword laying next to me. And 4 or 5 other bodies scattered. And other civilians that watched it. So it was either stay and see what happens, or I was told to run. And here I am. So, yeah, Aurora's Rest is very large, and I'm quite well skilled in blending in. That doesn't mean the wrong person will see me. So, looks at Seamus. I have seen the tricks you can do, the disguises. That might need to be an option. At least till I can get to somebody. Or we can roll the dice and see what happens.
How long ago was this?
You like, let me check my
I gotta
notes.
remember. Morgan, do you remember how long we said he was traveling? I think it was a few months.
Yeah. About 2 to 3 months since you left the city proper.
I'll look at Margot. Not long enough for it to have expired.
People have a short memory, but certain things get seared into the public mind.
It also depends on how drunk they are, which is probably very common.
Marco's gonna size up Drow, kind of like stand up, taking like good hard look at him.
Is he a stone?
The
cold
only-
brother?
Source. The only distinct difference is probably his darker skin tone to Margot, right? Because we had the same gray hair, the same lavender eyes.
Yeah, that's the primary difference. Plus, he's an elf.
With the elf ears.
Mhm.
Well, I think we just find something to lighten up your skin tone. Maybe a cap to cover your ears or something. You could pass off as one of my brothers. Traveling. You can work on your accent, and we can, if it's needed. I don't think a disguise would be that hard to command.
This I have to see. Dro, give me your best Margot accent.
Let us hear the Krivan Empire in your
Just
voice.
stares at you. No.
Oh, come on! There's nothing else we can do on this boring rock.
You could also... And he just throws the hood on that he's wearing.
Okay, but that's not as fun.
We can get in,
I mean,
get
Oh!
to somebody I trust. And they probably have a way to allow me to walk more freely. And again, I don't actually know who all knows. Because at least
Well, I think-
most of the people there are
Is there a
no longer
timeout? I
alive.
heard a T. I saw
Yep.
a T.
Quick timeout. Let's go ahead and take a short break today, while I fill Sean in on what's happened. So,
Margot's trying to turn me into her brother.
well, I tried to
Right.
sacrifice myself, and you got all psychoanalytical on it. So now you're my brother.
Or just put a hood up, keep my head down, and other people talk.
It's a theory. It's an idea. I really just want to hear him try a Russian accent.
something vaguely Eastern European.
Yeah, that's what Leo said.
So we've got a choice in front of us here now, though. Are we gonna stay and fight this thing and be the soldiers of Aeon that we claim to be? Or are we gonna go and gather an army so that we've got enough soldiers of Aeon to fight this actual thing, and then we'll be the name that we claim to be that way?
I will just say I gave you the opportunity to go get an army.
Going to cast
I
silence on
honestly
you.
don't know where an army is to get, though. Which makes me think that we have only one option.
Fight?
That's right.
I don't even know how far we are from Bird's Rest.
So,
Far.
Is the rest over? Okay,
Is there
cool.
break?
Goffin finally wakes up. He's been gone for that entire conversation.
To be clear, your long rest is not up. A short rest is a little bit beyond where you guys have finished so far.
Never mind.
So you still have like 3
I have to
hours.
transcend.
do you think I could now that my thing's working and I've conveniently been reminded that I have it on body on my person, could I go ahead and just send a message and be like, so in the middle of fucking nowhere.
So Yaslin just starts talking to herself.
Just
What do you say?
turn and look
What
at
is
her.
what is this
Um,
place called
and-
again? What is this place called again? Planet?
Paishan.
Paishan.
And remember, there is a word limit here.
Oh, is this
Yeah.
for sending 25 words?
So in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Eliminate fucking. It gives you an extra.
Nope.
You're-
do that
you're at
anymore.
6.
You're at 6.
Oh boy, Jester. 2.0.
Uh-huh.
This is a barbarian with sending. What did you expect?
Do you know what's happening in Python?
Python.
Something like that.
13.
There's a huge fucking tree trying to swallow us.
3 words
You have 3 left.
Any info?
left. Please.
Dear
Any
God.
info, please.
Any info? Please, please. You just see like Yazzle like talking into walkie-talkie, and you
What?
probably now realize this is probably why she never used. It's obvious. Like, you can tell she does not use very often.
So for anybody who suddenly starts paying attention to Yaslin speaking strangely,
Mhm.
you look down at her left arm, and you see a kind of a techie-looking device that's wrapped around. It's got a few like gold crystals on it that are like kind of glittering as she's talking into it. And you see she's got some sort of communication bracelet.
It looks much techier than the rest of her. But she's somehow managed, like, to make it blend in with her outfit well enough to it just hasn't been noticed until now. When it starts, like, flashing and making light.
Yeah, she doesn't like. She puts it on and it like seems to go with like her gilded kind of like gold horns and whatnot, but it's not something that she wears regularly. This is the first time you've all seen it, and
God, I have
there's
it in
a
my backpack.
there's a long delay. And a very rough voice comes out the other side. Sorry, I'm gonna.
Whoever's on the other end probably knows how to use this device better than Yaslin, right?
That's the DM.
As the DM.
Who's counting the DM? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna type this out real quick.
Everyone's probably
Because
like, Yaslin, like, oh,
Okay,
Word count.
yeah, word count. Okay. Somebody give me a word count, or give me fingers. Paishal? And there's an obvious question mark at the end of that. Been a black hole for months. Lost trade. No communication. Figured they were reset. Sorry, that last word was not supposed to be reset. Retreated. Figured they were retreated. What am I at?
You have 10 left.
Big tree doesn't sound like it can do that. Worrying.
okay. Do I recognize who responded to me?
Yep.
You said me who it was.
I lean over to Seamus. I think she's gone mad. She's talking to herself.
I just assumed she was talking to one of the creatures in her.
Oh, that
Or-
she doesn't typically do that out loud.
Not talking to myself, okay? I don't normally use this thing.
Is it the Chimera?
No, it's my family.
Is your family inside of your head also?
No, they're in a jungly forest. Months away from here, probably.
Okay. Did they have any insight into our current predicament?
They said trees normally don't do that.
Insightful.
Yeah. Sometimes he has more knowledge than I do. He does it, but he's always a good person to talk to. I actually have not contacted them in a while, so it's probably good I did. They were probably wondering if I was still alive, which I am, fortunately.
Yaslin, and like the voice starts coming out of the machine again.
Can they hear it as well? It's like a speaker.
There's a setting for speakerphone, sure. Like if you
What?
want to, or you can just like have it go straight to you.
Dro's
I
staring
am
at
this
you
one-
when you start talking to your wrist.
Here, look, guys. I'll show you, okay? And she'll turn on the speaker.
And you hear Yaslin. Glad you're safe. Investigating now. Survive. And get out of there. And like a bunch of static comes across the line. And you hear kind of like hijack through the message. Some very muffled sounds. Need help taking all of us energy losing can't last much longer. And it fades out into nothing.
I look at my book.
What are you doing?
No response yet. It hasn't been very long since you wrote it.
Okay.
Okay, that wasn't great. That normally doesn't happen.
Did
It
something
didn't sound well.
hijack the transmission?
It's possible. I mean, they would have to have the technology to,
Like the city below us?
like, the
That's
city
being drained?
below. That's being drained. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So guys,
That said it didn't have a lot of power left?
and that they needed help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does this change our plans at all?
So I could have just cast Featherfall once.
So, another potentially bad idea. I can try to reach out to the city itself. Rather than the plants, avoid the plants, but try to reach out to the city. If this was a high-tech construct type city.
Can you do that? Can you just reach out to whatever?
I don't know. I can try. I did not know I could connect to a network of plants that would brand me by eldritch horrors, but I did that.
Okay, yes, but
Fair enough.
if the city,
Achievement unlocked.
if the city, I feel like a certain amount of the city is under its control. You might
Yes.
just get yourself branded again.
Then we resort to my plan,
Where we fight it?
where
Oh,
Dolphin takes me as far away as possible, and you guys go get the real help.
You
I
just
don't
have
like
daggers staring at you when you say that.
That plan's not a plan that's going to happen.
But we're going down there now, right? Or we're fighting this horror, right? I guess reach out, see what you can learn.
I think this this communication has like a walkie chair. Listen, I don't use this watch very often. I almost forgot.
I don't know if it'll work. Let's just try it. What's the harm of trying it, right?
Well, you don't
Guy.
have a lot of magic left,
Let
do
me
you?
just fiddle with some knobs on this thing and see if anything.
No. Hold the watch out. Hold the watch out. Hold it.
Okay,
hold
okay,
it
I'll
out.
hold it out.
I'm gonna try to throw my mind at the voice that came through that watch. Probably won't work.
What did
Okay,
you
Give me
Really stretching this class.
oh yeah, you are. Give me a charisma check.
I am willing to waste the sorcery point if I don't roll well on this.
You had to say that.
I
You
said
had
it!
to say that.
cursed yourself?
Just say it!
Fine, she just got fresh sorcery points from her rest.
Okay, but this is a skill check. So let me add that.
It is
D6.
not. It is not a skill check.
Oh, shit,
because I
it's
said
a ability check.
It's,
Oh,
it's,
shit,
yeah, it's
ignore
an ability
that.
check. Okay. So Margaret, you try and like you reach out and like try to connect with this thing, and it like it's like you can feel like a little bit of like residual energy of like what kind of came through, but you're not really able to like move past it. It's like you just kind of get like this general vibe of like solitude and stillness being forced.
Nothing.
I'm just gonna like say into that stillness, fight back.
Okay. So Yaslin, are you trying to use are you trying to like star 6-9 this message?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really know how this thing works. It was kind of like everybody else. I skipped technology class, okay?
Okay. All right. Give me an intelligence check here,
Oh, yeah.
or an Arcana check, your choice.
Yaslin with intelligence. Oh, we'll just do straight intelligence check, man.
Okay.
15. You kind of like, yeah, you do like kind of fiddle with a few things and like reach back out to it, and you do feel a connection show up.
Oh, I got signal! Surprisingly.
I've got signals, surprisingly.
You dummy.
We can't hear you, Yasmin. You're muted or
I'm
something.
dying.
This out of character, of course, this would be fucking me. Can you hear us?
Ask who it was.
Who are you? How can we help? I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
I lost it. Yeah, I think it's this.
3 left, 2 left.
7 left. I have
It'd just
7
be
left
like,
for her.
tell us what to do.
This fucking spell.
In the barbarian's hands, this is horrible.
Oh my
This is
God.
this is great.
Yaslin isn't like aware of when this spell started, so she's like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, is this thing on? Oh shit.
And at some point, the device kind of like powers down, showing that it's like, sent the message.
Oh, well,
And
guys.
you get back like almost immediately, as soon as like your last syllable ends, which you thought you still had more time.
Yeah. I
Um,
was like, oh.
yeah, that a bunch of like static and kind of like fading in and out, like a bunch of interference. Still cold, feeding from several dead. Need help. Getting sleepy.
I'm just gonna say,
Then it fades off. There's nothing else. You're not.
Well-
It was. You only heard about the 10 words. You're not sure if there were more in there or not.
Agree. Well, guys,
well, it was connected. I don't know if it's connected to my mind or not. I tried. So she's gonna say, no one is coming to save you. Fight and survive and get out.
kind of hard.
You again. You try to connect. We'll use that 19. Like trying to talk to a wall. Nothing really latches. You don't. I don't know, maybe somebody heard it on the other side of the wall, but you don't really know.
Okay, what's
Sounds like it's speeding up. One
Mhm.
second. Right there.
If I recall, like, there was a civilization out here. Well, because I wanted to fight them guys, but like, we'll pretend it wasn't just that reason right now. Do you think it's feeding off of them?
yes.
That's what it sounds like. I gather from what
It's a
Did you-
communicator, but yeah.
Did you mean what you said when you told him that no one was coming to save him?
Did we hear that?
Yes. No. It was
Oh,
in my
never
head.
mind. Never mind.
I know.
I need to
get
pick
mixed too.
I need to pick a head accent that's different. To be
German.
more distinct. Oh God, no. No. Absolutely not. That is one I cannot for the life of me do.
In her head, it's like, no one is coming to save you. Fight.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
That's
That sounds like one of those bad voiceovers for a Bruce Lee movie.
Right. Like where the words stop and the person's mouth is like still going for like
Still going,
another
yes.
3/4 of a second.
I feel like yeah, no. It's been radio silent for them for if they said they were getting weaker. They needed help. Based off of how choppy everything is, I'm just going to take that leap and say that we probably don't have a lot of time left.
Agreed.
Which means we're on a clock already that is fairly short. We leave them here. I don't think they're going to make it out. If they haven't succeeded by now.
If we go down there, we may get trapped with them. And that does no one good. Perhaps we stay and fight this thing. And if we kill this being, maybe they'll be set free.
Yeah, I don't think going down there is a good idea. At least up here we have the high ground.
A tree.
Okay, well, I mean, listen, if Margot takes a nap, can she like throw more fireballs at it?
No, there's nothing I can do unless I get a nice full rest.
Okay, if Margot takes a good long sleep, can we throw fireballs at? Can you throw fire?
Yes! If I
Okay.
get 6 to 8 hours of sleep.
6 to 8.
That's
Okay. Okay.
So much maintenance. Oh,
Some people just need a good night's rest.
Seamus gets it. Wow, I
mean-
just took Seamus's accent.
I mean, me and Yaz are more willing to put Margot to sleep.
I'm sure you are.
Just smiles.
listen. It would be very gentle. I mean, you wouldn't even remember me putting you to sleep. You'd only remember waking up afterwards.
I can fall asleep fine on my own. It's the amount of time I can stay asleep. Unless you can add 6 to 8 hours to the day, this won't help us.
So you need 6.
I think that's... Unless the
Uh.
DM rolls for short or long rests.
At this point, you guys have been resting for almost 2 hours, so yeah, about 6 more for a long.
Well, I've only been awake for about 2 hours, so I can easily keep watch.
I guess let us know if a giant evil monster shows up.
Could be fair
It might
too.
be worth it.
That's part of being on watch, yes.
Dolphin only needs 2 more. He's
Mhm.
good.
So it's good night then.
Yeah, I think it's we're going to we're going to sleep and then we're going to beat the shit out of this tree.
We might as well try, and if it wakes us up and fight it as we are, we're no better than going to fight it now.
I have to
At
sharpen
least
my
there's the
axe.
opportunity. Okay, you sharpen your axe. Are we trying for a long rest? Trying, praying
Alright.
to the gracious DM.
So everybody, now that you know like what it's looking for and stuff, everybody give me a stealth check at advantage during your rest to basically see if like dumb shit happens and you accidentally like disturb things. Corin, that puts you at normal since you're.
I already have.
Oh well, since you're in a state, since you're not moving around, and you're going for a long rest, you have to doff your armor anyways, otherwise suffer exhaustion. So never mind. Yeah, you get advantage too.
No, because like I said, I just been awake for 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just gonna be on watch. I'm gonna keep the armor
Yeah.
on. Because I was unconscious in the flying tree.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I just woke up.
Right, but you did have a fight beforehand, so you did get beat up. You did use a few abilities.
Oh, to also note, Corin, if you move around on this platform, you might get taken away by the platform. So, like,
Don't move.
don't move out of your area.
Yeah, so basically, if you're not moving, you can roll at advantage also.
I already had advantage. We don't stack advantage.
No triple
I
advantage.
rolled like shit.
Oh, I love those dice.
Oh, I have the D6. This
Woohoo!
counts for
I
the
rolled a
D6,
19,
right?
So I got a total of 18.
Woohoo! Yeah, you can yell your d6 here.
Oh shit, that's not what I wanted. How do I
I
take
rolled.
away one of the D6?
I rolled
Ah.
manual, by the way.
You what? Oh, you rolled manually?
Mhm.
What'd you get?
23.
What the
Okay.
fuck?
It's fine. Nobody has any like I drooled and fell asleep and fell off of the platform and landed on the ground and got eaten by the ground moments. You guys
That's
all
good.
rolled very well above that threshold.
I have advantage on stealth, and I only rolled a 15.
Corin, do you have dark vision? Okay. By the time you guys complete the long rest,
do have things that can give me light.
Okay. Okay. Do you utilize those or no?
Is it like a moonlit night or is it like a moonless overcast night?
It's definitely overcast because of the storm.
I'd rely more on my hearing.
Okay, that's fine. So Corian, give me 3 perception checks for each 2-hour period, and accompany each of those by a D100.
After the first 2-hour period passes, Dolphin would be done with his short rest or his long rest, I think, and would be able to help make perception checks probably.
Yep. So okay, 19. Okay.
And then, yeah.
Corn, relying
like
on
you said,
your.
The elf would be waking up around probably the last week.
Yeah. So that's a good spot. So as it darkens, some of that, and there are no constructs nearby, you guys. You finally, you ran away and kind of stopped moving in an area that was relatively free of them after you got down off the platform. But you can see some a little ways away, maybe 150, 200 feet or something. And Corin, in the night, do you do your torches or no?
No. Like I said, I rely heavily on
Okay, cool.
and
You-
Dolphin would be waking up as well.
Yeah, I'm describing your first 2. I'm describing your first 2 hours before he wakes. So as it darkens down, you do hear creaking and groaning after you kind of enter into almost a trance of your own, just absorbing the sound around you. Things beneath you, things shifting even slightly inside of this kind of tower, this ruin that you're on. And also off in the distance, you kind of occasionally open your eyes and you see little flashes of blue occasionally pop up and look around. And it's very similar to what prompted Yaslin kicking this thing in the first place. These little photon projected eyes. They're popping off of constructs elsewhere. Yep, still a little off in the distance. This thing is searching and scanning and paying attention. This definitely seems to be a secondary type of sense that it has. The tremor sense was much more sensitive.
If any seem to be getting close-ish, I would ask detect magic and see if anything.
Okay, you see the things on your companions that you would expect.
Yeah, I'm looking for magic creatures, magic sensors.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
You do see in some ruins that are kind of across the way, it's essentially off to the side, they're kind of hollow. You do see just a little box just floating around and kind of pop its head out, kind of look around and tuck back in, disappear. You catch it kind of out from the corner of your eye. It glows mostly with divination magic. And at this point, it has been a couple of hours, and Dauphin, your long rest is complete.
Go ahead and wake up then. Just
And
take a look around.
okay, and because of your the verbiage of your trance, you were aware of all the conversations that were happening around you. You remain conscious even if you are being inactive and whatnot. So Dauphin, give me your own perception check as you kind of reconnect with the world. 13. Nothing out of the ordinary so far.
Do not disturb anyone or make any vibration. I'll use my hearing of message with one charge. Just say, there's been, like, just alerting him to those eyes that I saw.
Mhm.
That's certain. Like, one of them came within range of the divination magic. Range by magic.
Very well. Can I see if I can recall any form of creature that might live in this area with glowy eyes that are nocturnal?
So as he describes that, it immediately, you're the one that first saw the eyes on the statue.
Oh, I see.
And what he's just describing attaches to those. If you want to like roll a check just to see what might be around you, you're also welcome to do that.
As in, would this be a different check from the perception check I just did to look around?
What'd you get? 13? No, yeah, we'll call it that. So, out of the darkness, this is the first time you guys have been here in the dark. And at some point you see a large kind of feline thing moving through the grass a little ways away. And as it moves in like little pockets of like moonlight come through the clouds above, just little tiny shreds, it kind of catches some blue striping on this feline and begins to shimmer and kind of fades away. And at one point, Dauphin, it looks straight over to you. And just kind of stares. As it kind of hits that moonlight and makes it glow. The glowing fur kind of has like this ethereal like shiver come off of it.
It's my Patronus.
Straight up, my Patronus is a Nebayung cat.
I'm going to go ahead and just thaumaturgy a little flame in my hands and show just some light flickering off me too.
Okay.
And after a few moments, I'll just go ahead and stop it.
And it looks at you. And its eyes kind of stay there as it kind of fades into the darkness, and it's like twitching tail fades out as its eyes are the last things that kind of disappear. And then it's gone for a moment and reappears in like a tree over here. I think that lays down and looks at you. You hear it speak up in Sylvan. Long way away from home. For you.
I'll nod my head.
And it's not speaking telepathically. Corin, you can hear this. You see this hat like up in the tree.
Okay.
All of you. Long ways away. What is doing?
How far away is this tree?
Just what is that? 20 feet?
Okay. Long enough that I can talk relatively quietly without waking everyone up.
Mm-hmm.
I shall say, we are going to protect the people of this area, and we are journeying to a place that needs us. I didn't hear what you just said.
Oh, it just says, protecting. Interesting.
Might I ask who I am speaking with?
And it grins largely. Kind of like, almost like curls around the branch that it's on, like its hind legs stay up and the rest of it like kind of like grabs underneath and looks up at you upside down. You may ask, but a name is worth a trade.
I see. And what is it that you are seeking to get from this interaction?
Entertainment.
We're a long way from the nearest.
I'm sure that there is some form of entertainment that can be provided. Tell me, what sort of animal are you?
Maybe nothing. I am what I please right now. But I suppose a cat.
My insight check.
Sure. It's absolutely like toying with the words.
I'm gonna use my telepathy have a communication method.
Mhm.
So you would hear in your head strictly automatically like this. Careful, I don't trust this thing.
Avro will look over at Corin, and he'll cock his head to the side, and then he'll attempt to shape change into the cat that he's seeing.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Mm. As you do, and like your ability to shape change, give me a nature check as you kind of like process this thing.
Oh, rough rolls tonight.
Rough rolls. You don't know what it is, but you know it's not a beast. So you could possibly imitate the literal form, but that's probably about it.
I'll save the shape change then. Very well. What sort of entertainment are you looking for?
Conversation is one. Watching those do something silly they shouldn't is another. I like to watch it fall to pieces. So you say.
Very well. I will accept your bargain.
And what do you want?
Oh, what I always want. Information.
Oh. The brainy entertainment.
That is the first time I've been called something like that, but I suppose yes.
No, I simply meant knowledge and information is the entertainment that brainy people want.
Yes.
What do you want to know?
What is it you do here?
I talk. I watch. I occasionally snack on those fuzzy heads. I don't think you want to know about me, though. We just met. Up until a moment ago, you didn't know I existed. What is it that you actually want?
There is a lot of stuff that I would like to know. But it seems as though the most important thing that might be able to help the people of this region is looming far back there, around some giant clouds. The real question is, what do you know of the creature that is coming this way?
I know that sentence is incorrect. It is not coming. At least in the way you think. It doesn't move. What moves you to it? Now, what do you know? About the makers of this world.
From my understanding, this place has been piecemealed together, and that's very many different creatures and beasts and people were brought here against their wills. So, I can deduce that the makers of this world, as they were constructing it, had no care for the other worlds that they were stealing from.
Quite. An interesting take. A moral depiction of factual events. Are you moral?
I do not know that yet.
Oh. You hear kind of a deep purr ripple through it. Honesty. Rare.
It is not honesty, it is truth. I do not deceive you.
Truth. Kind of like very uncomfortable with like saying the word. And what will you do if you help the people here? How would you treat them? Would you treat them with care, like the makers did not?
I am not in the position of leadership to do any form of treating with care or perhaps harshly. Nor do I have an interest in stepping into a position that I can. I will simply help and then leave and continue my quest. I believe it is now time for my question. How did you come here?
You've already spoken on the answer. It's matched. Dropped.
I think he meant.
No, he answered my question.
I'm more curious how we got here. That was my
It is easy to move when others are so clunky.
Yes, correct.
Sometimes they leave shinies behind.
In his current form, he is quite nimble, and if you did not see, he simply disappeared into the shadows and very quickly ended up inside or atop this tree. I would assume that the way that he got here was very similar to how he got onto the tree.
Deductive. And what about you, yellow one? What do you want to know?
I made no agreement.
Well, I didn't say you
Only my
did.
friend did. Well, further to the understanding, there's no agreement. Nothing wrong with that. I'd be curious what's happening beneath us.
Hmm.
Vines carrying people towards something. Any sentient plant that seemed to animate construct. Fascinating.
Hmm. How to answer if not to trade?
I have little of value save for trade, save for perhaps a book. A bit of whodunit, mystery. Although it's kind of given away the title.
Hmm.
It's called the Mimic at the end.
Oh. I like it. Entertainment and all.
It's entertainment.
Ah.
I just finished reading it last week. It's quite a good one.
Lovely. You are on a core. And it looks around all over.
Corpse
Corpse of where? Say that again, it didn't come through.
we're on the corpse of the city that used to be here, yes.
I think that there is more to it than that.
Us. It's not dead yet.
There is something
Right.
else, a lot more ancient, that must be. That this tree must be going through.
The heart still beats. But the limbs are dead.
Is as if the flesh that moves, or rather the ground that moves, is the flesh of this creature, and then the underground caves must be something akin to the arteries, and then the cities and the people that have gone down there have constructed within the different organs of this creature, and this tree creature that is shooting its vines everywhere is simply a parasite.
Hmm. I thought it would take a couple more clues to get it there.
I am a rather intelligent person.
I can't see. Most aren't. Not
I am well aware of
entertaining
this.
at all.
Yeah, that is. I was just gonna say, that is the point. The smarter that we are, the more that we learn, we must share with other people.
Hmm. Dumb is not entertaining. I like the sharing. I like a trade.
I'm going to quickly cast I want to cast there it is. The invisibility.
Oh, okay.
Lasts for
Oh.
1 hour. Nice.
Mhm.
One more question. Don't mind?
Good book. Good book.
Like I said, it's a good book. Mimic at the end.
One
question.
more. One more.
It's related to the last one, but contrasting. Where is the power source that's going?
It doesn't move. It is stationary.
I figured the source was stationary. I want to know where is the tree planted on it? Is it somewhere beneath in the city below?
They're both stationary together.
The tree is like a blemish upon the skin. It sticks out like a pimple.
Hmm. And it hops down off the tree. Often you lose sight of it as it disappears into the ground. Corin, you see that kind of like blue shimmery as it lands and like
Hold
walks
it
over
so
to
you
you.
can see it.
Walks over to you silently. It reaches up and grabs it with a paw. Grabs it with its tail. And let me know if you want to trade again. Good night.
Now that it's closer and I can see it a little bit better, there's
Mhm.
no darkness and no dark vision.
Yep.
Can I make any sort of like Arcana intelligence history type check? I want to see if I can tell for sure that my gut is right in this some sort of.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I do have
I'd say
abilities
Arcana.
that are specific to Fae, so that's
Mhm.
why I figure I
Yeah,
should
I'd say
have a
Arcana.
chance at it.
Yeah, Arcana makes sense. It is Fae.
Excellent. I was definitely getting Fae vibes, but
Mhm.
I can turn Fae like most clerics turn undead.
Nice. Yep. As it kind of like climbs down vertically, like facing the ground, and begins to pace off. I'll be watching.
So does he look like he's ethereal right now, or just like invisible?
He's invisible.
Okay. So he didn't shift with the ethereal for that. For this one.
Nah. It's invisible. But you do see it like kind of like walk out and then gone. Not like, but just kind of vanishes. It like it's in that space and it's just not.
I don't know. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have another like 58 minutes of seeing invisibility, just so you're aware.
Sweet. Good to know.
Gotta love Watcher Paladins. They get to detect everything.
Yes. Okay. So, Corey and Dauphin, anything for you before we kind of like move on with the watch?
Let us hope that this is the craziest thing that you see all night.
would be a nice change after the last few months.
I must ask, you talked with a few people, and you already knew Seamus. You described a little bit of your story, but why are you here?
Here, exactly unsure, but basically going back quite a few months, maybe 4 or 5 now. It's been a while. A village that I live in, near a volcano, had been attacked by several creatures that came out of the ground. Then behind them, after we were being swarmed by these smaller, like, either the size of a large pig to a little bit bigger than your average person, with wings and stuff, came out and attacked us. Then behind that came this giant pig. Best I can describe as a fire worm or lava worm of some sort. It left a tunnel 20 feet across when it left our village. And I've been hunting it since. I met up with Seamus and Leo during my first excursion. When one of our companions, Nort, fell ill, I took him back to our village, which is where he was from as well. I've known him for many years, to be better cared for, and struck out on my own again. I woke up and was fine. I don't know if I could find. I realized some weird growth beginning in the tunnel I was in, but I was mostly following tunnels that I thought had been made by that giant lava worm.
I see. So, why stay with us?
Right now, I mean, it's literally only been a few hours, but right now, until I get my bearings and decide on a next best course of action, it seems like as good a place as I need to be, and I'm one that always looks to fight for the little guy. Like to call me a seeker of vengeance. So if there's a chance to free those that are currently being sucked in by those vines, I would like to get vengeance.
I see. That explains a little bit more, because you just had the opportunity to say, "Hello, Seamus," head in, turn away, and walk away. But no, you care about fighting this creature.
Yes, I like to look out for the little guy. Like I said, seek vengeance or retribution for those that are out of character, vengeance paladin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I see an evil like this, it has to be right.
And how did you come across this power initially?
Like I said, by fluke, I was following some tunnels I thought were made by that lava creature I've been chasing for the last 3 months.
And you simply gained a righteous power from
The power
chasing
that
down
I
a creature?
have, I don't know the exact manifestation. Kind of happened during the attack. I was trained city guard before, but it was seeing my home being destroyed that brought up the vengeance.
Do you have anyone left?
Yeah, most of the village did okay. We lost about 30% of the population. Thankfully, my family survived. But the cost, the structures, and the labor to rebuild were the burden for quite some time. Nearly a quarter of the city was flattened by that burn.
Have you ever come across something ancient? Or rather, someone ancient?
My friend Nord's pretty old, but I wouldn't have called him ancient.
Nice.
He would fall asleep mid-conversation. He was that old, but no, I can't think of anything that I would know for sure was something part of that.
I'm in search of. It might be better to show you. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of hold up my rings, and kind of push my chest forward a little bit, and just say, "We're not in water, but you might still be able to come forth." And then try and beckon the spirits.
Ooh. Give me an Arcana check.
Come on, game. It's like, what, third seven tonight?
Something like that. You guys are on a roll. A bad one.
Like,
Um,
combat.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of grab your items, kind of like present them. They kind of, there is a little bit of like a ripple to them, and you can like almost see like a little bit of like flowy residue inside of like a watery, almost like a spiritual water bubble forms around them for a second. So you kind of like all of them kind of like have this like almost face show up and then fade back and sink back in.
I travel with the spirits of lost sea creatures. Ones that were once friends to me, ones that I have given companionship, and ones that I have promised information, adventure, very many different things too. So my quest, the reason I continue moving forward, is very complex. But to simplify it as much as possible, I'm looking for an ancient power that I believe might contain the ultimate knowledge that I have been looking for.
Have you tried the library at Ripple?
I actually came back from there.
Uh,
I spent many years traveling to many different places, moving throughout the oceans and the islands, until eventually studying at the college, and that is actually where I first met all of these people. I joined in by thrusting into Margot's dream and trying to save her, and from there they invited me to continue, promising to help in my search.
I don't believe I've seen anything in my travels that would help with that, but I will definitely keep an eye out.
This is disappointing, but understandable. Ancient powers are not normally something that is very easy to come across. I am quite curious. I do not know what it is that is under us, but it is entirely possible that what I am looking for is under our feet right now.
I definitely get the feeling that that's very ancient, yes.
Yes. I'm curious. Do you have the ability to speak with anything that is, probably very close to death, if not about to die? Perhaps after death, either?
Not so much after the death, but and then I'm going to switch to telepathic. Anything that understands a language, even if it's not one I speak, I can speak to in this manner.
There are so many people who do not understand the privacy of one's mind.
Don't worry, I cannot read anything unless you project the words after.
I see.
this contact.
You and Marco would get along very well.
And I'll switch back to verbal now. But that is the only way, but I can speak with anyone, no matter the language, as long as they're able to understand and speak a language. They don't have to- Maybe they only speak Goblin, which I do not.
We must be very careful about how we approach this tree. Because if we were to go in and just simply cut it down, we could kill the thing that is living underneath. I feel like we need to speak with it.
That could be. Interesting. I don't know if it speaks a language, then I have that option. It is.
I do have one last thought. I'm very curious. Parasites, normally what they do is they kill their hosts. They will, they will take as much as they can from their body and leave it behind, and oftentimes die with the host. But I wonder, with all of the vines that stretch throughout this entire area, what if this tree is not looking to feed so much off of its host to the point where it dies? What if it is looking to take the body underneath the ground itself as its own and use the vines, just like it has used the golems, to essentially make a giant golem and move around as a very large plant-like creature, and then continue feeding and growing? It could be a huge threat to this entire world.
That is quite terrifying.
Perhaps understatement of the century.
Yeah, this is how DMs get ideas. Wait, that wasn't the plot, but now it is.
Huh? Who? What? How? I never turn what you guys theorize against you.
I once had a
I
DM who...
oh, right.
I was just gonna say, I once had a DM who we did a whole bunch of stuff and then ended up in a time skip, and I went, okay, so I bet you this character did this character did this happened in this city, this faction did that, and I assumed that these people then retaliated this way and did this. And he goes, I guess I gotta change the plot.
They did now.
It's funny because, like, I mean, I have done that for like minor story points, but my big story points I've never done that before. And I remember when I was running a sci-fi campaign, and we're like not 2/3 of the way through. We're over half, but we're not quite to the 2/3 mark. And one of my players theorizes this, and this, and I'm like, very thankful we didn't have cameras on. I just bit my tongue because they were 90% to figuring out the whole plot of the rest of the campaign.
Nice. Every once in a while, you guys do that to me too. I'm like, ah, crap.
I mean, no, take it as a compliment. That means like you've got things played out in a logical way that they're able to
Right.
figure it out. There's no
The seeds are being
confirmed
planted. Oh yeah.
So anyway, back into character. Yes, well, I don't like the idea of this thing getting that big and becoming a walking ancient golem city ant hybrid. That sounds very not nice.
Yes, it does sound less than ideal.
Although it might weaken that fire worm if I get them to meet each other. Or the fire worm might weaken it, then make things easier to clean up the mess. Wishful thinking, I suppose.
Are you capable of any form of ranged combat?
Mostly I get in close and hit up. I do have a few ranged spells. I'm not exactly a good shot with the crossbow or longbow.
This is good to know. It allows me to strategize a little bit more when it comes to combat. If we have more people who are up fighting the enemies right away, then that gives me the ability to provide a little bit more support. Keep an eye out on everyone else.
Upfront types.
Dauphin glances over at Yaslin. This one is very good at running up and hitting things. She is also very keen to suggestion if you recommend that that she hit something. We accidentally awoke you from the slumber because I was very interested in the ancient ruins that were beneath us. So I suggested that she hit the button, and eventually she did.
Well, in that case, I thank you. I will try to make sure I have abilities that those that are near me during combat can benefit from. I'll make sure I try to stick close.
This gives me many more thoughts. Have you seen anything else that is strange this evening?
Just those lights, those glowing eyes that I mentioned. Magical, like some sort of magic divination. That's some sort.
Yes, we encountered those eyes previously. They were golems that we had annoyed. And these golems were the ones that were shining with eyes. From your description of them, it seems as though perhaps we did not escape as masterfully as we had assumed.
Thankfully, they didn't seem to notice us. I stayed quite still when I noticed it. I cast detect magic spell in case one of them appeared within range. So I could get a better view. But, didn't seem to look in this direction.
I'm going to grab a couple pebbles or rocks, relatively small. And then I'm going to cast the cantrip Light on just one of them at a time.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I'm going to toss one of them as far as I can into the darkness.
Okay.
Essentially, my goal here is I want to see if, as everyone has been resting, the ground has slowly and quietly moved us, as something has been watching and clearly knows we're still here, or if, maybe these two aren't related.
Okay. You pluck a couple of rocks up, and I do mean pluck because, again, they're attached to little tiny vines that make them look like they're just like fallen down and natural, but they're placed. Pick it up, move it. As you do, there's feels like twitch underneath the ground beneath you. That's about it, though. Cast light, you toss it, and then give me a perception check.
So close to the nat 20, but instead,
A 9,
close
which
to
is better than a 7.
I guess.
It looks the same as when you went to sleep.
Very well. Go ahead and turn to Corin and say, "Hey, did you happen to see anything out in the darkness when I threw that?"
Yeah, make a perception roll then.
Yeah,
I mean, I would have. Would I see that? I would have been looking, but
Yeah, that tracks.
I'm not necessarily looking to see if, like what he said, if we had moved. My brain's
Mhm.
not there. My brain is there anything threatening out there?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious,
Nope.
guys!
Don't worry, you're safe with us.
There's no threats around at all.
Oh wait. We're
all
I
gonna wake
have
up
my
and
shield.
realize.
I have my
you
shield.
do have your shield.
That means
Mhm.
I have advantage, and I forgot to hit the advantage button.
Uno más. Ooh, much better.
There we go. I have
So
a
you
second
look
shield.
out there, and it flies down and like tink, 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 tink. And you see several of those like little fuzzy-haired like elementals like scatter out. And you see, so let me back up. See several of these guys kind of dash away. But as like the pebble comes to, it should be in Foundry. Do you guys see the image of the little fuzzy guys?
No.
Get it?
Oh, how about now?
Oh, there we
Yep.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually I don't have to click that twice. Interesting. So you see that, and then Corin, as like the little pebble like rolls, you see one way off in the distance that doesn't move away from the pebble. It's a little bigger, and its hair is white, its body is white, but its face is black with white spots. It's an inverted color palette.
I saw a bunch
and you
of those
like-
little black things with the fuzzy heads run away from the light. Right at the edge now, I see one that's backwards. White.
Go ahead and look in that area then.
With your perception check, you do not see it. And Corin, you like look back, and it's gone.
The white one seems to have left it. Axes it out in hand, just for the record.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe it is quite time to wake anybody yet. But if you saw something out there that is keeping its eyes on us, my guess is that it has probably been doing this for a while, and perhaps it is as afraid of us as we are of it. After all, there are not many people who travel through here, especially not many people who travel through here and make it to the evening. At least that would be my assumption.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. They're an eye up for sure. I should have moved that book from my inventory, actually.
Indeed. Anything else you want to do before kind of rejoin with the rest?
I'll just, keep my hands on the weapons and stay alert.
Okay. All right. Nothing else happens for the rest of the night. And the rest of you begin to wake up around like 3 in the morning. It is still quite dark based on when you went to sleep.
I think I'm ready to take on this giant tree now. That's all I needed.
Yeah, Joe, you alive?
Shakes his head.
Joe?
I'll cast light on my spear.
Straw like looks away.
Fuck, who turned on the
Oh,
sun?
thank you. I couldn't see shit before. Thank you.
Turn it down, it's too bright.
Okay. So what's the go, guys? What are you looking for?
I think we're gonna go kick some tree ass next week.
Joe, give me your best Margot accent.
Just gonna look over. Well, first off, I can't talk in your head, so no.
Why?
I'm gonna perk up. And
No,
you
that-
hear in your head.
That wasn't an invitation, Margot!
If you want to practice, I'm here. In your head.
I have the
Work on that. That
ability
could be
to
a good
silence you, and I will use it.
You can't silence me in your head.
Just out loud. Fuck.
And I don't need verbal components to do this. I can just do it.
Bro, don't let her antagonize you like that.
Wait. In head again. Do you have to see me?
I can see through the ethereal plane itself. How will you stop me?
It only lasts for an hour.
No, it's
Just outside, we're just staring at each other and everyone sees us.
Dro? Come on, Dro.
We just woke up and started glaring at each other.
Don't start now. It's too early for this.
Should we at least attempt a stealthy approach? At least get the drop?
Do you think?
I think so.
Are we going to
Looks
use
at my split mail.
resources? Yeah, I mean, I feel like if we can stealth without using that would be nice. But if we're using resources, I don't think it's worth it.
You can make
There is something that already knows that we are here.
Excuse
What
me?
do you mean?
We've had quite a few visitors over the course of the night. Many
Oh?
nocturnal fae.
Yes,
Hey?
there's a fey cat creature thing that came and talked to us for a bit. There's these little goofy hair things running around down there when you were stone with a light spell on it. And also saw some glowing eyes that were, I think, some sort of divination sensor trying to locate us. It looked like they succeeded. The night was not totally uneventful. Nothing worth thinking.
So it can probably watch us approach no matter what.
Precisely. My thought was simply, I aggravate the ground for us, and it brings us right to it.
I can do that.
No. And just
Wait,
grabs
no.
Yaslin.
I was ready to throw something.
Still glaring at Margot, but grabs Yaslin.
Come on!
Just throw a 300-pound rock from this cliff down.
I I mean, I could.
Or we could
I
let
thought you were going to
Dolphin-
go punch the grass.
I mean, I could also do that.
I don't think that would be a good idea, but that's what I thought you were suggesting.
I could do either of them.
Or you sit here and let Dolphin do it from a distance.
What is he going to do from a distance? Oh, he's
What he
gonna
was
do that
doing
here.
yesterday.
That's maybe. Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is magic. I do have one thing. We learned quite a bit about this creature as you were asleep. I'll go ahead and relay the information that, we learned from the Feywild creature. And then at the end of relaying it, I will say, I believe that it might be in our best interest to at least cut down the parasite a little bit, to the point that we would be able to find the heart of whatever creature lies beneath the surface of this place and attempt to speak with it and see what it
Okay.
knows and what it can tell us.
But we are going to cut it down.
I would think eventually.
Revenge.
Well, yes, if we can weaken it to the point that it cannot fight back, we must take the opportunity to learn what we can, if we can, from its host.
You can't weed a garden without removing the weeds.
Right, but you don't need to remove every single weed immediately.
Well, if you don't remove them immediately, they're gonna come.
You said this was a parasite. Why would you
referring
leave it
to
to
a matter of-
survive?
You give it
referring
an
to a
hour.
matter of hours, not weeks.
Precisely. We're not just going to cut it down and go, okay, that's it. Oh, goodbye, everybody.
Alright,
No.
alright. I'll let you. This is such a bad idea, though. It already marked Margot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want it to mark you too?
Wouldn't be the worst thing that this happened to me.
Probably.
Hmm. I've had a very experienced life so far. If everyone is prepared and ready to fight, I am more than happy to take us and begin the journey.
Alright. I cannot guarantee that I won't cut it down by any means. Because if it gives me the stink eye, it's going down.
It's a tree. As Rose says out loud.
I can sense these type of things, Dro.
It does have eyes. It did have eyes. It
have
looked at me.
eyes. It did
Well,
have
it has
eyes?
divination sensors.
It
anyway.
did, yes.
See, I
No,
can't
the
tell you
tree itself has eyes, guys. The tree
Yeah,
has
it-
massive reddish orange glowing orbs that look like they will destroy your soul. It doesn't look
Yeah. So like, if my sixth senses start tingling and I feel like it's a threat, it's going to be chopped down.
Is anything ever truly a threat to you? Are you not
Yourself.
powerful?
Dro stops looking at Margot, looks at Yaslin.
There are a couple things that could be a threat. Yeah.
Drew, will you toss me one of those to-go bags that you got in your
Mumbles
satchel
under
there?
his breath or reaches in the bag. He finds one and throws it. Looks at Seamus. We still need to talk about that.
Well, I mean, less talking, more chopping.
That's not what I. Okay.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, no.
Slurping? Okay, maybe more talking, less chopping.
Squishes it like
Maybe
a juice
chop
box.
it.
Wow, this is a weird Capri Sun, but it tastes pretty good.
Okay, so the intention is to go to the tree.
Mhm.
I'll just cast Thaumaturgy, and just
Yep.
not going to do it constantly because I don't want to end up giving myself exhaustion, but I'll just do it enough to get us moving, and when it stops moving, I'll just cast it again and kind of keep doing that.
Yep, and you guys can move like a general like walking pace, and it begins to kind of, airport like flat escalator you towards the destination that you're looking for. And as you guys go, You eventually get to the storm that builds in deeper and deeper and more wriggly, and it is dark. And as you get closer, you see kind of a rise up, like a series of buildings protruding out of the false ground that you know you're on. Almost like a bit of a hill. You can see it closer and closer off into the distance. You see a wicked, mangled tree with broken, leafless branches that spread out in probably like over 100 feet across. Thick, gnarly roots that you could so deep that you could build a house inside. You also see two long, gnarled arms ending in like wicked orange claws. And a face on this tree. It looks like leather made out of wood pulp stretched across the skeletal form. And most unusually, out of all of that, the most unusual thing you see is roots rising up from its shoulders and reaching into the clouds above as they crackle with lightning.
Now, isn't that a face that only a mother can love?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to bury it.
No, that is not a tree. That was once a tree and is now taken most definitely by a parasite.
Yeah, that's the photo. That's the photo. Ugh.
That was
One's-
upon a time a tree.
One's the photo, one's the battle map. I got the battle map about as close as I could to the tree itself.
Yeah, that's what
And
Margot
as
saw
you-
when she connected.
Yep. And as you approach, it starts to take notice. Sees you on its way, or on your way. And it grins. And from probably about 300 yards or so, it says, "Fine. A willing."
Mm.
And that's where we're gonna end our night.
You're like, dolphin.